Listen.
Take it out of your forehead.
It's in your forehead.
Oh!
Okay, guys, volume down.
Volume down.
Oh yeah, I'm taking all my clothes off, boys.
What if that's the thing? Like,
I just sit behind the camera completely naked
And clothes just come out. Every time someone says, like, I don't know, DC. Do you want your phone?
like, holy shit, tag me in
No,
these
no,
videos. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Here you go, Dom.
A day will come when the courage of men will fail. Not just men.
What is it?
When I first looked at the picture, I didn't look at the bottom one, so I didn't know whose face it was. So I genuinely got surprised by it.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
It had a real narrative.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready to go here?
No, this is not on.
My girlfriend's seen Black Panther for the second time tonight. I'm jealous.
It's better on the second watch.
Is it?
I'm seeing it Tuesday, second time, I think.
Not good enough for the full price of a ticket?
Well, I don't know. Fuck,
Taylor,
when
what
did you
is
see it last?
No,
Taylor.
cheap Tuesday.
What do we do with the mic to make it better?
I'm better than you because I paid full price for a movie.
Are you gonna have time to troubleshoot that right now?
Not right now.
Okay, no.
We can wait. It's okay. But I appreciate it, though. I didn't bring any tube socks today.
Oh,
Oh, I got my tube
pants.
socks.
What? Are we ready to go?
Kind of.
We have 2 awards that are gonna be decided on air. And I'll tell you
I
why.
forgot
There's
about
some
this.
ties.
I
Yeah,
almost
that's how we're
forgot
gonna
about
start.
I thought there was only one tie.
There's 2 ties. I was
Now
wrong
I'm
because
excited.
I hadn't got to. I was busy. I hadn't got to fully look at Briggs's voting, and there's one
yeah,
pick that. There's one pick that made me
No,
quite
I-
surprised.
yeah.
So
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
ready?
Holy
I'm
Roberto
so
in the house.
excited, and I just can't fight it. I'm about to lose control, and I
Smacking.
think I like it. Hello, and welcome to the 174th episode of the GeekVerse podcast, baby. I'm the Clown Prince podcast, Travis Snail.
I am the long lost optimist, Dylan Muss.
That's a nice one.
Thanks.
I am the faceless Kirkland Patzer.
Jimmy called Taylor Field the Fields.
Oh, fuck.
The pecan expert.
I
Killer.
am the despicable Tyler Brugge.
Despicable. We are going to get right down into it, folks, because we have a lot of shit to cover. This could be a long cast. But
I'm thinking the 4 to 5 hour mark.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the 24-hour stream times 5.
Times 5.
Holy,
Hello!
we are here for an entire week. In Dylan's room.
We're gonna go fucking nuts.
Who's gonna be the last
It
one?
is
to
gonna
leave?
get hot in here.
Who will be the last man
Quick
standing?
plugs, and then we're getting into stuff. We have the Golden Geeks. It's our version of the Oscars. We all voted for Best Geek Film. All the stuff we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into. We got some hot, spicy news, plugs, Patreon. Go over to Patreon. We got a Marvel
Okay.
retrospective dropping with Iron Man 3. It's a really fun one. Me, Dylan, and Taylor did. We had the giggles that night. It was a great time. But we
It was a
also
fun cast.
get deep into the movie. Next week there's gonna be 4. Count them 1, 2, 3, 4 gauntlet matches. Kirkland's coming back. We have new debuts of people.
Yes.
Ruben's coming back. It's popping off for $1. You can get 2 of those for $5. You can get everything you own and those and a title match.
Wow.
Tyler and
That's a
Taylor
lot.
are going to be versing in a title match in the rematch. You could get that next week, ladies and gentlemen.
criminal not
Next
to do
week.
it.
You don't got to wait a month. Next week. And then next week, Jessica Jones. I'm not sure who will be on it, but me and Dylan for sure will be reviewing that. We're going to watch the entire show. We're going to binge it. That'll be next week's GeekVerse episode. Do we have anything to throw out before we get into it?
We're on episode 5 is going to be dropping very soon here, so...
There
You guys are pumping them out fast now.
Oh, yeah. They love pumping
Yes.
out.
They rehearsed
Very good.
all
They
the
love
pumping it up.
Wow.
That's true wolves. They love pumping up. Check out Wolf Order. Go get your Wolf Order shirts right now. Support us in the gauntlet. Me and Taylor. Ugh.
Sick.
That was a little sad.
Taylor was not super hyped with that. He meant business.
Let's get into the Golden Geek. So this is, if you want any preference, go back and listen to the nominees episode. But this is our between the 7 of us.
That is a really fun cast, I think. So it is.
It's a
worth
long
checking
cast too.
out.
It's 3 hours. So
Oh right. Okay. Well, if you have 3 hours kicking around.
listen to it in parts. Listen to it at work. Jessica and Kyle also vote for the nominees, and then they also vote for the winner. So we have, I think, 7 or 8 categories. All of them have been decided. There's a couple live on air that have to be decided because there's a few people here that have to be a tie-breaking vote.
Nice.
We're gonna start with worst film.
Yeah.
And what I've decided is we can talk about it as a group or we can figure it out. I think it's a valuable enough award and we pay our podcast subscription so we can do what we want. I think these 2 films are tied. Should get them both. If not, we're going to have to figure it out. The 2 films that are tied are Jigsaw and Death Note. Those are the 2 films. Everyone else voted for something else. I don't know if anyone, because maybe you not have seen Jigsaw or Death Note, are going to change their mind. Dylan maybe would change. Well, Dylan also, you've actually been the only person that's seen them both, so maybe you should be the tiebreaker.
I haven't seen any, so...
Mm-hmm.
Outside voter.
You vote. Well, you vote for Ghost in the Shell. No, what did you vote for?
I did Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
Well, what did
As long
everyone
as
here?
it's
What did
a
everyone here
song.
vote
Did you
for?
vote for Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe there's a three-way tie.
I voted for Ghost in the Shell.
Okay, that was a bad movie. That was
I voted
bad.
for Ghost in the Shell. I voted for Death
You
Note.
seen the
What did you vote
original
for,
though,
James?
So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Amazing.
Okay, what'd you
I
vote?
did Jigsaw. And then Kyle didn't vote because he didn't see any of them. And then you voted
And
for...
Jessica voted for Death
Death
Note.
Note, yeah.
Oh shit.
So there's a three-person tie. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're the deciding
So
vote?
the reason I can't give it to Ghost in the Shell is because at least visually that movie had like
You
some
probably haven't
interesting-
seen the original, have you?
Oh, wow.
No, I haven't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't
That-
matter.
Well, I'm saying that's how I compared the two.
Have you seen the original Saw?
I've never. Yeah, I have.
No, you haven't.
I have.
And if you saw
one.
Jigsaw...
I've seen Saw 1.
Well, I think
that's the only
from
Saw I've seen.
I think from this like we've reviewed enough
too.
movies that I think I have a solid grasp of
Fair
looking
enough.
at a movie and for like its pros and cons and
Unbiased.
whatnot.
Unbiased point
And-
of view.
I haven't seen Death Note either, so I wasn't comparing that. I'm just looking at this movie strictly as movies.
You've seen the American
And-
versions that we're voting for, though, just to be clear for the viewers. You just haven't
Yeah.
seen the anime ones.
It's a good
Yeah,
unbiased
exactly.
opinion.
Yeah, so I think Ghost in the Shell at least like visually had some cool stuff. Kind of reminded me of Blade Runner a little bit.
Mhm.
That I really don't have anything good. Like I think it was a really awful movie. But Death Note, I can't think of a single thing I liked about that movie. Jigsaw, honestly, I don't have much to say. I think it's I don't know. I think the fact that I've seen all the Saw movies, maybe that's what made it more interesting, at least a little bit or something. My vote was for Death Note, and I would still put that as the worst movie because
Okay.
there was nothing. I can't think of a single thing I liked about that movie, like
So,
visually or any of the acting or writing or pacing. Like all of it was bad. It was a very, very awful movie.
so Death Note is the winner of the Golden GeekVerse
It's
film.
so
of the year. We're
sad.
getting the worst
It's
out of the
sad.
way. And you know what? I've seen Ghost in the Shell, but almost every movie out of this category I would have been completely fine because they all deserve it. That's why
Yeah.
if you pick that, I'm not even going to fight you or try to bait you because, like, yeah, Death Note, I did see a man. That was not a good movie. That was
No.
that was not good. So there you go. That's our worst film of the year out of the 5 we picked. Best score was a fucking runaway. I was very surprised.
What are the nominees? Do you have the list of the nominees?
Yes. Somewhere.
We got War with Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
We got Blade Runner,
Thor,
we got
Thor Ragnarok.
Wonder
we got
Woman.
Wonder Woman, and we got It.
Yeah, thank
Right.
you very much.
Those are the 5 nominees.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Solid memory.
Thor pretty much ran away with it for the most part because hang on, I gotta pull up. This is the one I was not prepared for. Fuck.
After
Travis, how
music.
dare you?
Hang on.
He's having some troubles.
I am.
Are you looking at like the numbers?
He's
for
got
the-
lots
I
of
am.
notes.
I
all
did.
over
I have
screen.
all the finalists. I
So
did not
Thor-
just score.
so Thor
okay,
won
here we
it?
go. Here we go. So Thor. Because you did Thor, right?
No.
What did you do? You
I did
Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes. Blade Runner. You did Thor.
Yeah.
Jessica did Thor. Ka did Thor. Okay, so
Okay.
I guess the reason I stopped because I said it was a runaway because I got those votes first,
Ah,
and it was
yes.
all for Thor. I'm like, well, it's a thing, but Thor did win. Thor won
Wow.
best score. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I liked them all.
Yeah.
All of them had great moments in it. I was surprised Thor.
I
you know?
remember when we were doing the nominees and I just kind of like trashed Thor's soundtrack. I guess I didn't remember it, but I watched the movie again yesterday, and I mean I didn't vote for it still. I think it is a decent soundtrack, and I like some of the music for sure. I kind of wish that they went more with like the theme that they had, or like the tone, the type of music they're going for. It seemed a little inconsistent. A lot of times they kind of just played a lot of like generic, like triumphant music. So there was some cool stuff, and I like Led Zeppelin, but they also play that song like twice instead of playing a new song. And they play some cool like kind of electronic stuff, but
It's my birthday.
the
Such a good
the problem is they kind of play like a lot of the same sort of music throughout the
Yeah.
whole movie. So that's why for me, I picked Blade Runner personally over that one. But
yeah.
I just wanted to redeem because I kind of trashed on it for probably unwarranted.
Yeah.
But,
I also watched it with Dylan just the other night, and
In separate rooms or the same?
same room.
Okay.
We were together.
Okay.
under the same blanket,
Yep.
same popcorn.
After 9.
After
Different
9.
couch though.
Oh wow.
Figure that one out, viewers.
But yeah, no, I honestly, it was a letdown for me, the score.
Okay.
Compared to the first time I watched the movie, I was paying a lot more attention to everything, and it just nothing really stood out compared to what I think it might have had the weakest of these soundtracks compared to the other contenders.
Oh.
So I'm surprised, honestly.
I didn't have no chimes like Planet of the Apes
Oh.
though.
Not enough chimes. Not enough chimes.
That's why Planet of the Apes didn't get my vote, by the way. Fuck that chime.
Are you serious?
100%.
That is such bullshit.
100%.
I think the chime fits, and the chime is in other scores from the soundtrack there.
They're all good scores. I just vote Blade Runner because I feel like that's
They're all good. That's the
Blade Runner was also amazing. Though.
That
was
one
a
just
close
had the
for me.
most impact on me of like feeling in the moment where I really feel the score. The
The
other,
music makes you feel like weird and
Yeah.
unsettling. It's
for me, it was
very
between
powerful.
that and It because It was the same thing where there was times where it made me feel unsettling and it just worked very well at the movie. So
Was
that's why I
there a
voted
chime
Blade
in
Runner.
it though?
No, and if it was,
Good
then it was Pennywise with his little, pop pop, like
Pop,
he has the dancing clown.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
none of those won. Thor won.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Still insane.
Congratulations to Thor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kirkland, you want to say why you picked Thor?
Why'd you pick Thor?
A solid reason was because I didn't see a lot of the movies that were
Oh.
I did not
You gotta
see
also
it.
remember the Golden Geeks are fun and they are very flawed.
They're very flawed.
Yeah, it's not a yeah.
It's not.
Our panel consists of people who have seen maybe not all the movies.
Yeah.
So
But
it,
it's a fun time.
I don't fuck with clowns, so I probably will not watch that movie for a long time until I get a lot of confidence where I'm like, I'm feeling good about.
Would
clowns.
you be
And I'll put
willing
it on
for
and be
the-
like, fuck that.
Would you be willing for the cast we would be with you, but for you and Kyle to watch it together on a
I think it'd
commentary
be fun
track?
to do a reaction video.
Yeah, that's what I want to do because Kyle legitimately cries when he sees clowns. So-
I'll be very unsettled. I'll be sweating the whole time.
I
I'll
think-
be like.
I think
shaking.
Halloween we're gonna do that.
That'd be
so
fun.
Look out for that.
I want to watch the movie again, but I want to watch it again alone. So.
I'm not gonna say I'm opposed to it, but I could be convinced
Of what?
To do it.
to do it.
Oh, okay.
I'd be
I thought you meant changing your vote.
What we should do is have Kirkland and Kyle watching it, and then we are going to be watching them instead of the movie.
We'll have two couches.
We'll be commentating on them watching it.
Yeah, look at them go.
We may or may not be wearing clown costumes for Halloween as well.
Oh,
Oh,
that.
the whole
Yeah.
clown cast. We're
I
talking
See the tears going down Kyle's face.
I just hate clowns. I don't know what it is. And then Planet of the Apes. I didn't see the second one. So what's the point of watching the third if I didn't see the second one?
That's a great reason. I can't blame you there.
Yeah.
I still think you should watch the second one, but
Blade Runner. I just didn't watch it.
Oh,
Let's be
yeah.
honest. No excuse. I just slacked. I'm sorry, fans.
You get free
I let them
movies
down.
and you haven't seen any of
Yeah.
I know.
instead you saw The Circle with that.
Yeah. What
To
the
be fair,
fuck,
that
man?
was on the worst movie list that we got nominated.
Yeah.
Because you're the only one that saw that one.
Well, Taylor, as another person, had that vote for Planet of the Apes. You want to say that, and then we'll get into our next category?
No, I mean, yeah, Blade Runner had a great soundtrack. I mean, Thor is definitely at the bottom of the barrel, I'd say. It was good music, but it wasn't inventive or creative. It was just rehashing some old stuff and then just throwing in a Zeppelin song, which was definitely a high point for the score, but I mean, let's be honest. Compared to these other things
Led
that were
Zeppelin
very...
in the 70s. Get out
Compared
of
to
here.
those chimes.
Those chimes, I mean, there's the
Chimes.
most incremental and important instrument in that orchestra was that ding.
I wouldn't go that far.
If you don't know what I'm
personally
talking
would
about,
not
it's the
go that
end of the
far.
movie. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a very crucial moment, and all of a sudden it sounds like a fucking Hallmark commercial. I'm like, what the fuck?
They tried
I'm
to
ready
get
to
there
cry,
for, like,
and
one
then it
note.
kicked me fully out of it.
This discussion I've been listening to it for months now, and I still don't understand why we're still talking about it.
The chimes.
But yeah,
Return of the chimes.
So honestly, my vote easily Planet of the Apes.
Chimes
It was
right
just,
back.
it was fresh. It was just real and emotional, and it
The
made
chimes are
me
making-
rethink so many parts of my life after
Oh,
this.
Are you only talking about
That's
the
a
chimes?
lie.
Or are you talking about the...
Nah, I think it's
The chimes made him rethink his life.
I kind of missed the intro part, so I thought you were only talking about the chimes and how
No,
they just
I
had
was-
a major impact on
It
your
was
life.
just the music was just so powerful, and it's just so deep. Like I can listen to it. I bought the full soundtrack right away, and when I listen to it, when
I bought the
I'm
I would
driving,
not doubt you.
it makes me cry when I get to those certain moments. I feel the tears come out. I wish I was lying, but I'm not. There's at least one tear.
You wish
that
you were
will
a
come out.
lime?
I wish I wasn't. No.
I've always wanted to be a
I wish I was a fucking lime for once. Let's move on to most anticipated. This was a runaway for the most part. Everybody chose Infinity War except Kyle chose Black Panther. A little fraudulent because, it has come out. And I would love to show you the conversation. He was talking about I got excited because it's a black movie and this is for us. When we talked on Dynamic Duo, I said to Kyle, and there's a black superhero coming out. I said to Kyle, who do you have as a superhero? And he's like, what do you mean who I have? Made me sound like the most racist motherfucker ever. And then now he's like, yeah, this is a black movie. It's like, that's what I was trying to say. This is a movie that is breaking ground. So he chose that, which was after he'd seen it, so maybe it's still the hype. And Jessica chose Deadpool 2, which kind of caught me off guard, but always chose Infinity War. I think it's the clear choice. I think it's,
There's just so many questions.
Yeah.
There's so many names
questions
in this movie.
There's so many
It's just-
scenes that are gonna be like that scene is the coolest scene of the year. I imagine.
I hope.
I'm so
I hope. Or it's gonna end up with like our most disappointing. Maybe that'll be a category next year. But yeah, it's all culminating. We've talked about Infinity War so much, so there's not much more to say for me. But like, to me that was an obvious vote. As much as I think Black Panther could be a better movie, Infinity War, like, so much is gonna happen. You know?
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah.
That movie,
Nothing
like,
really to
there's
say.
a lot, like, that movie's really gonna change the landscape of what we talk about on this
Good or
podcast.
bad. Good or bad.
Like, it's gonna change a lot of, it's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
topics, and, talking about the future of Marvel, and
Mm-hmm.
really, it's just gonna be exciting.
So just to recap, worst film was Death Note, best score was Thor, and then most anticipated is Infinity War. Now we're going to villain, which was fully locked in there. They're not a runaway, but a pretty solid vote for. Kylo Ren won Adam Driver, so I think we all voted for him, except you voted for the Vulture.
Yes.
And then you voted for
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, you guys want to say why you did, and then obviously we can talk a bit about Kylo. But why did you not? Because I was surprised.
I chose Vulture, Michael Keaton. Like I said, didn't see.
That's
it.
what he's called in the movie too.
I don't-
Vulture, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
No, but I don't fuck with clowns. They don't enter my list.
But you fuck with
I
birds.
feel like that's a
Oh,
pretty good
birds.
reason for you to vote for him, though.
I haven't seen it though, so I feel like it'd be a fraudulent vote, But anyways, going back to Michael Keaton, I feel like he just had the most like humble story from a villain side, where he's just like we talked about before when we were talking about the movie, where he's just a regular guy that's just trying to make a living, trying to support his daughter and all these things, and like I feel like I can see the good side to him, but at the same time he's scary. Like that intimidation with Peter Parker in the vehicle, that was just awesome. And like he has so many like two sides to him, where there's scenes in the movie where you think that he's just a friendly guy, and there's scenes where he's just scary. Like he's a villain, like you don't see him as a good guy at all. So I really like seeing the double sides. I'm a huge Michael Keaton fan too. I think he was a phenomenal actor in that movie. I was really borderline with Kylo Ren because he is just phenomenal. I love Adam Driver. He's just fantastic. Last Jedi, one of my favorite movies of 2017. Sorry.
Whatever year it came out.
So that's my backing for Michael Keaton. Yeah. Kylo Ren, it was borderline,
It was close.
but I just liked Michael Keaton's he felt more human as opposed to where Kylo Ren, he was just he's like an evil guy that was born to be evil because his grandfather was.
I feel like Last Jedi was what made him a human guy, in my opinion.
That is true.
I'm not
You
saying
can
you're
argue that
wrong.
point.
I'm
You
not
can
saying
argue
you're
that point.
wrong because, again, I think with most of these categories, when we did the nominees, I would have been fine any year of one of these people winning, because they're all. It wasn't like last year. Last year, I got clear ones for. There were times where I had to really think about where am I gonna go. But for me, I did not think about this. So Kylo Ren was a full-on solid vote for moi.
How
But
about
you
you, Tyler?
voted for Bill Skarsgård.
I did.
Also drafted him in the MCU draft. So you're becoming a big Bill Skarsgård fan.
Yes,
A real fanboy.
I think he
Check out the
I think he has a lot of potential, and I think he can go upwards.
So why did you vote for him as
That's
Pennywise?
Anyways,
Transition.
see, I think for me, as you guys all know, and if you haven't watched the review, I wasn't a huge fan of The Last Jedi, and I think there are some parts I think he did do really well with some parts as Kylo Ren, but I think there are some parts that were lacking as well that just didn't quite hit for me, and for Bill Skarsgård's performance in it, I don't think there was a single scene for him where he didn't have the effect he was going for. And for the most part, it was just unsettling, but also just whenever he was on screen, he had the desired effect for that scene, and
That's a good point.
that just blows me away. And for that, there's no way I can't vote for that. I have absolutely zero nitpicks about that character in that movie.
Fair enough. He was my vote until Last Jedi. I was going with Bill Skarsgård route, but I love kind of what you said about Michael Keaton. Kylo Ren to me, he's the most consistent thing in that movie that works. I will go on record. I still think he's gonna go down as the best written Star Wars character. Just like the journey he's on right now, and I love the stuff he had with Rey. I love the stuff that he had with Luke when they showed why he is the way he is. And Adam Driver's just a phenomenal actor. He's just a beast, and he played off all those scenes, whether he's chopping down guards or he's walking around shirtless with his pants pulled up. Phenomenal. So I couldn't pick anything else after I saw Last Jedi.
Fair enough. I think for me, because I voted for Adam Driver, even though I wasn't a big fan of that movie necessarily, but he and Rey, both of them were kind of the two things that really stood out for me, and I enjoyed both their characters throughout the entire movie. You bring up some good points on Pennywise, and I don't know. I think maybe part of my vote is also because I haven't seen it since it came out in September or something like that.
Something like that.
October.
September.
So yeah, I haven't seen it since then. So I mean, my memory's a bit fuzzy on it. So perhaps if I rewatched it recently, maybe it would had a run. Maybe it would have scared away Adam Driver, you know, and claimed that first place prize. But in terms of, I think for Vulture, the only reason I didn't vote for him is because I'm just every time I think about it, I'm super disappointed in like that final fight scene. The way he goes out to me is very anticlimactic, and it kind of fizzles out his character at the end. Whereas like for the rest of the movie, I really liked his character, and I think you're right because as like the human side of him, you know, when he's not in the costume, like that's really well developed. But then he also is like really cool as the Vulture himself, and you know what he's doing as a bad guy. So I think for me, it's just the fact that it kind of fizzled out at the end that kind of gave me the I guess go ahead to vote for Adam Driver on that one. Yeah.
You know, it was definitely a toss-up. I was really wanting to vote for Pennywise because, I mean, a lot of what you said, really, it's totally true. He was amazing, and he really just demanded the presence in the audience just to focus on him when he walks on screen. But for me, Kylo Ren, as far as a villain having development, and maybe it's because we've already got to see him in Force Awakens, and that's added so much to his character. For me, he's just transitioned from being a scary, unknown entity that's turned into someone who's had so much, like, pain and damage and just all these different things that have so much been out of his control that has created this path for him down this into this direction that's just spiraling downwards even further into this more scary villain. And I think he's just knowing now what he's probably gonna turn into, and at the same time not knowing, just the anticipation of it for me just makes him a very scary, unpredictable villain that I'm just really excited to see progress. So, he gets my vote.
Nice.
There you go. So here's one that we can discuss because best scene, Taylor, you're going to have to do tiebreaker. Because there's a three-way tie. That's where I threw me off guard. I didn't tell you, you can talk about it after. You chose the It house scene, the well scene, as your best scene, along with Jessica. Kyle and Kirkland picked Star Wars, the throne room scene, and me and Dylan picked the Logan... spoilers, death scene, and you picked the Vulture car scene. So you are the one deciding vote that you have to pick between one of those three.
What?
Yeah.
I thought someone else would have voted for that scene. Can I talk about that scene first?
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. You know what? Out of all, I looked at all those scenes. I thought, you know what? No. The one that gave me the heebie-jeebies was when he turns around and he pops that gun out. And he's like that. I look at Peter Parker.
He turns back for those listening.
Yes, he turns back.
He's like that, and then just dead silent.
Like I've never, not for a while at least. Maybe not for a while, but I mean,
For an amount of time.
Where do you go?
I don't know where you're going.
Yeah. My dad
For
hasn't done that
3
to me
weeks
in a
you
while.
have been waiting for.
So I sing in movie theater for a fair amount of time. A scene like that has definitely, I've never experienced a scene like that where it has totally just caught me off guard, and I've just felt myself shrivel in my chair. I mean, maybe Black Panther moments because, I mean, for obvious reasons, but like, it's just
Check out our review.
Check out our review, but like, it just that scene just made me shrivel, and I felt like I was little Peter Parker in the back of Michael Keaton's car. Like, it just
That's powerful. I don't blame you for picking that scene.
Like, it was,
I wish I had that
nuts.
experience.
That's
crazy.
But at the end of the day, I guess, okay, I'll break this tie. So what are the options again?
Star Wars throne scene, Logan's death scene, and the It well house.
Logan's death scene didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Taylor did not vote for anything Logan whatsoever.
I'm a big Logan hater.
Yeah, he's fucking
X-Men hater.
Yeah, X-Men hater.
And the other two were Star Wars and It, right?
Star Wars and It, yeah, the Wells house scene. Yeah.
And what happened in the Wells scene again?
That's they call it the Wells house when they go to get Pennywise the first time, and
Oh,
like,
it comes out of the fridge.
yeah, and that whole
Right. Okay.
That whole sequence of events.
And
Spoilers.
Tyler and who else voted for that?
Jessica.
Jessica. And who voted for Star Wars?
Oh, you're picking favorites?
Yeah. Why does it matter?
Boys.
He's just trying to get all these Travis are getting the shaft on this one for sure.
Oh,
You know?
I knew that the second I think I was done at Taylor. Hugh Jackman.
Logan didn't do it for me.
Logan didn't do it for me.
He's like
One of the-
17 years and
one of the
him
sad-
just dying out. It's beautiful.
One of the
No.
saddest scenes in history when this 4 fucking 10-year-old girl says daddy and then her dad dies right in front of him. Didn't do it for me. God damn it.
I don't know if there is a chime in the score.
There's not a chime, it's silent. All you hear is her tears.
There's no chime in any of these scenes. So there's no chimes to bias for.
You know,
We know what you're picking.
No, because honestly, I could definitely lean. I mean, you know what I'm picking. Okay, sure, but you know it. It is really close because that scene in the fridge is absolutely terrifying. That is some scary stuff, especially when his jaws hang and he's like.
But that didn't make you shrivel in your seat.
It did not.
So.
It was if it was Michael Keaton as it, maybe that would have done the trick, and he had
Yeah.
a gun.
Just Michael Keaton.
You guys should have seen his face when he was reenacting it. I was scared.
You were right there.
Check
the
it out.
YouTube. Oh!
Later, camera.
YouTube stream, we might be down for just a second.
So I'm gonna throw my vote out.
Stop talking! The camera's not even on us! Give us a second. We're still live. God damn.
That thing is breaking. You're right. You do need to buy a new tripod.
It's gonna happen. Now you can
It just
go.
fell?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I am going to pop my vote into the slot of Star Wars.
Oh, we know. Get over it.
Pop it in. Star Wars: The Throne Room scene with
Yes.
Kylo Ren and Rey fucking up some red guards.
Crimson
Snoke
Guards.
dies
Some
out of
red
nowhere.
cards.
That was my
Damn red
second
cards.
scene. It was between that and the little
Alec
scene.
here
The Star
warriors.
Wars scene, it's just so great. I guess for me, the only reason I gave it the edge was one, like, low edge is because I legitimately was, like, snot crying while I watched the movie. I've never cried so uncontrollably unless someone has actually died in my life. So that's how painful it was. And two, it's just because the throne scene for me, I think if it led to somewhere with Kylo and Rey being teamed up in some form, I probably would have got it. But it kind of feels like junk food, right? Like, oh, we'll give them this idea of the team up, but then at the end, like, it's just they're gonna split up.
Right.
I can't say you guys are wrong for voting for it because it's a great scene, the way it's shot, everything. It's even if you like that movie or don't like that movie, I think everyone says like that scene everyone gets them like, oh, what's gonna happen there? So I completely understand the vote, right? You know.
I favored it away from that one just because I still hate that Snoke dies in that scene, and that's just the end of that character. So that's why I couldn't vote for him.
Fair enough.
Maybe there's two Snokes in the next movie.
Then
It could
What if
have
his
been.
race?
then
he
we're
just,
gonna,
like,
then we're
turns
gonna
into-
redo this cast,
okay.
and I will have changed my vote.
All right, I'll hold you to it.
Okay, can't wait.
All right.
So our next category is going to be revealed by Travis.
No,
No,
supposed to
I
back
wanted to
up
get.
my
I
vote?
wanted to get Tyler's. Yeah, you.
And that's why
Okay.
Travis
You're
needs to stay on
jumping the
top of
gun.
this.
No, they haven't even said why they vote for their scenes.
I know, I totally spaced.
That's,
So.
yeah.
He's trying to blame me. Oh, that's why Travis needs to stay on top of it. No, I'm waiting for them to go.
I think it's more of a, you're right, I'm an idiot. I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That-
Tyler,
think
I want to
that's
ask
what
you
it
why
Come on now.
the It scene came. I was surprised you picked that one. I don't know why, because I know you're a big fan of Logan. I know that obviously you didn't love the Last Jedi, but a big Star Wars fan. So when I saw that you voted for the Wells Health scene, I was surprised. That caught me off guard.
That's what, it was, this was a tough one for sure. There was a lot of deliberation.
Yeah.
I think part of it was because my favorite scene from Logan is the
Right. It wasn't
when
in
they
there.
bury
Charles.
Charles.
Major
And
spoiler
that
for all
one,
these
if that scene was in there, it was one of the contenders, I would have voted for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I think as far as when you're considering all the things that come together to make that the scene, I do think that it takes it. For me, it was visually just absolutely stunning. The acting was great, and it was a great turning point for the film where both the kids kind of get that courage to fight Pennywise, but it also makes everything that much more real because aside from Pennywise killing Georgie at the start, it's the first time one of the main casts actually gets like injured
Yeah.
from Pennywise, where like he breaks his arm and at
That
that
slashes Ben too.
yeah, and it's just like it really makes everything kind of hit home, but it's also such a lifting moment where all the kids kind of come together to try and fight their fear. And just visually, the whole sequence going through the houses and each kid kind of confronting their fears. I think it's just the combination of everything all together is just absolutely phenomenal. And don't get me wrong, the Logan scene is amazing. I was bawling my eyes out at that. But looking at it with everything all together, I think for me, I have to go with the well host scene just because, like, when you think of emotionally. And as far as thematically, I would say Logan definitely takes it. But visually, it didn't do anything special. Acting, I would say, was obviously great performance, but it wasn't anything that like was incredibly straining or difficult on the actor, I would say. So
I would disagree big time. 'Cause I feel like we've seen so many bad death scenes.
You're right.
Of a character like I feel like that comes off really natural and it does a good job of Like, I think
Yeah.
if it's badly acted, or poorly acted, you won't cry. You'll be like, oh, this is
Oh yeah,
bad
no.
acting.
I'm not trying to take away from Logan's scene. It was still absolutely phenomenal, but
It's just a credit
For
to how
me-
good that
yeah, for me the
scene
whole
was.
scene was just absolutely amazing.
I will shout out, I should have done this, I have not been doing this. The best scene nominees were the Vulture Peter Parker car scene when he figures out that it's Spider-Man, the throne room from Star Wars, Logan's death scene, the well house, and then Yondu's funeral, which we all really loved. But
That was my next closest one.
Yeah.
And I almost put it
Yeah,
there.
legit. Like,
Yeah,
it was
almost
between
put it
that and my pick.
And before you go on the other one for villain, because I didn't list them off, was Kylo Ren as Adam Driver 1, Bill Skarsgård as It, Michael Keaton as Vulture, Michael Fassbender as David.
Oh no.
And then I can't remember her name because I can't pronounce
Love.
it. But the girl who played Love in Blade Runner.
For
So,
Blade Runner.
but yeah, those were the nominees. Yeah, no votes for David there.
No, that's surprising.
Not surprising at all.
Such a great character.
Why did you vote for Star Wars?
Um,
Obviously, one of your favorite films, 2017. So you got that going for you.
and like that's my favorite scene of that movie.
So good.
Favorite film, favorite scene. So it goes kind of goes
That was
hand in
really your
hand.
favorite film last year.
Or I said it was one of.
Okay.
I know. I slipped. I didn't say it there, but that's really what I
You
meant. No, but just visually, that scene, I love the whole red. It was just beautiful with the red guards. Like they were just, I don't know. I love seeing like the different styles of their weapons, and like you really didn't know like how that scene was gonna end the first time I was watching it. Like
True.
I wasn't sure if Rey was gonna be bad or if. Like when they go into the throne room, like when it's all taking place, like I didn't know where that was going. I didn't know if Kyle was gonna be good. I didn't know if Kyle was gonna die. I didn't know if Rey was gonna die. I didn't know if
True,
Rey.
yeah.
There's just so many unknowns, and the way it played out, I know Dylan hates that, but I really liked it when Snoke died.
Me too. Fuck Snoke.
I just thought it was a very like sneaky way, I guess, to like kill him, like Adam Driver for a second, or Kylo Ren, I guess that's his name.
They're one the same. He acts like that.
Adam Ren.
He just saw his
Kylo
perfect
Driver.
opportunity to take out like his master. That's just always like telling him that you're shit. You're never gonna be Vader. All these things. Like you're just like you're just trash. And then he just comes out and pops him with a cap in his ass.
Also with a cat.
This little blaster out of nowhere.
I was spoiled for anyone that didn't see it.
It wasn't even a blaster. He legitimately took like an earth gun out and just like shot him
block.
with a
Yeah,
Blocked
like,
vertically in the ass, even though he's on a throne. Very technical shot.
It was a
Very
ricochet.
He's like spinning his bullets like in Wanted or
Yeah.
Matrix. Yeah.
Spread the bullet. Angelina Jolie makes an appearance.
No, yeah.
She was Snoke.
Yeah.
She was so well done.
The whole scene though, it all came together for me, and I just loved it a lot more than the other ones. I hate saying that
No, that's
because
fair enough.
I like I said, I don't fuck with clowns. I didn't watch.
Even more than Michael Keaton.
The Michael Keaton scene, I didn't think it was that memorable personally. Like I love, yeah, it's hard to say like comparing him,
I
especially
can
with
never do
Logan
that.
and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like that Logan scene, definitely hugely emotional, but it didn't have the biggest like impact. I don't, because when I was thinking about them, I'm kind of like what's the most memorable, right, to
Okay.
me, and the red room scene is just
Red Room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I still would have thrown my vote to Tom Hiddleston fucking up some bats with
Oh my
a
God,
samurai
God.
sword, but
Wild
wasn't
scene.
good
I
enough.
totally forgot those.
On to Best Supporting Actor.
Oh.
Chris Pine for Wonder Woman, Harrison Ford for Blade Runner, Mark Hamill for Star Wars Last Jedi, Michael Rooker as Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and Patrick Stewart in Logan. Once again, another category where any other year I would have voted for any one of these to win, including Mark Hamill, because I know Dylan's on that bandwagon.
Not a fan.
Could have been Michael Fassbender though in there. So
He's not as bad as Fassbender.
yeah, so
Yes.
wow, bad as Fassbender. But ladies and gentlemen, I can announce that we do not have a winner because Tyler Briggs has to break a tie. It is a 3-3
I gotta do
split
it.
between
Holy.
Yondu and Patrick Stewart
Oh,
as
shit.
Professor
Wow.
X. So yeah, that
What did
That's
you vote
interesting
for?
though, because
I voted for Harrison Ford.
solid
Fair
chip.
Oh, I couldn't because he wasn't in like the first half of the movie, so
Mhm.
that really took it down.
That's fair.
I was very borderline with Yondu. I'm not gonna lie.
I
chose
chose
Patrick
Patrick Stewart was
Stewart,
in the
but-
second half of the movie.
I think all these could win, but I was
Somewhat.
never wavering from Patrick Stewart the second I saw that performance for me. I was just it's so haunting and it's so again him playing this guy with Alzheimer's like it could come off cheesy, but like it felt so real and so
Mhm.
depressing. But then even moments when he gets to be like kind of happy and joke like that dinner
The funny
scene.
grandpa.
Yeah, like he just does it so well. So yeah, for me it was never. Even though all these people are great, but for me
Yeah.
it was never.
The scenes
questioned.
too when he like comes to the realization of what's going on again, and,
Yeah.
and every
Oh,
time
yeah, and he's like
with,
the professor again.
with Logan, and
Yeah.
then they
Oh.
just like the look in his eyes, it's like so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
very sad.
No, yeah, like obviously my first pick was Patrick Stewart, but then I was like, oh, Yondu in there. But then I'm like, oh no, like thinking back, like comparing the two, it's just it had so much more emotional attachment. I thought.
Well, Taylor, because you're the only one that here, Kyle and Jessica chose Yondu. Why defend Yondu before Tyler makes his final choice?
You know, I mean, his whole time, like just learning about him a little bit in Guardians 1, like he wasn't definitely my favorite character in the first Guardians. That being said, I'm glad that they introduced him the way they did, because it just made him so much more just powerful and deep in the second movie, getting to learn a little bit.
It was kind of surprising that he had such a bigger role and a much more emotional role, right?
Yeah, but finally getting to see him actually become, spoilers, one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was absolutely...
For a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It was, that was definitely like a good tearjerker for me, leading up to the point where he dies. And I mean, it's just his character and the way he, Michael Rooker just delivers it. I think it's fantastic, and I love how he plays not only just this badass, like, outlaw, bounty hunter, renegade, Ravager, I guess.
Yeah, it's Ravager, yeah.
I think it's cool how he also comes off as father throughout this, too.
The
He
true
had
father.
great scenes in that movie, too.
He did have great
like with
scenes.
his little, I don't even know what
Whistle?
Yeah, the whistle,
Whistle needle thing?
The whistle needle thing.
That scene...
Patent pending.
With,
Yeah.
with the score and him walking around his Ravager ship, and he's just arrowing all these guys, it was really, really awesome. And he lived and breathed that role. That being said, you know, Patrick Stewart, I won't lie, his role was fantastic in there.
Didn't do it for me.
You know what? I'm not even gonna say that. You know, honestly, he was fantastic. At the end of the day, though, I'm not gonna say that. I really did appreciate Yondu's performance just a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's part of me, for me, I wish that Guardians came out
I
a
would
different
be
year.
totally fine if Yondu gets the W here. I'm good either way.
Well, Briggs, who is getting the W?
It's a big decision to make.
It is. Honestly, not really for me. I already know what I'm voting for. But I just want to say, for me, Harrison Ford,
It's like you can't pick him.
he's out. But I think it might be a bit of recency bias, honestly, because I watched Blade Runner on Wednesday, I think. But for me, that was just like, he blew me away with that performance. I thought it's just great.
Yeah,
everything
Reprising
about
that
it was
character,
just wonderful. But for me, it's Patrick Stewart, 100%.
Yeah, it is.
There's
Prospects.
this was another one with a lot of deliberation where I was thinking about the two, and I ended up going with Harrison Ford. But for the tiebreaker, Patrick Stewart definitely is like just wonderful performance. Everything you guys have said before is just true.
A real array
True facts.
of characters that he plays in that movie.
Shout out to Chris Pine, because I thought when I saw Wonder Woman, I for sure was going to vote for him for Best Supporting, but then just more shit came out, and other than Mark Hamill, I would have voted for anybody at some point when I saw it. I was like, oh, this was great. Mark Hamill I really liked, but I just at never point thought he was stronger than those, and even for you, I'm surprised, Mark Hamill over
I was
Yondu.
thinking about it, but Mark Hamill, I mean, Best Supporting in Star Wars, I mean, I think there's a few other characters I would have given it to over Mark Hamill.
Rose.
I think with this category, aside from Mark Hamill maybe, but I think like all of these performances were just absolutely they all did a great job.
And to show earlier for most anticipated, because they didn't get the nominees, it was Aquaman, Black Panther, Deadpool 2, Incredibles 2, and Infinity War. Just because I'm scrolling through those. Let's do Best Geek Actress, because this was pretty much a runaway. Me and Briggs are the only outlier here. Gal Gadot took it. It was Gal Gadot. It's Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is a real name. I never know how to say this one either. Ana de Armas as Joy for Blade Runner. And then I didn't look her up here. The girl who played Bev in It. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie and Bev from It. Again, sorry.
I was looking at her. I was like, I feel like she'd be a good actress.
And then Daphne Keane for X-23. So Wonder Woman won with almost. I thought it was gonna be a clean sweep, but Tyler threw in a Daphne Keane vote with me, and I'll defend it just because I think Gal was phenomenal. She is leading the charge. She did a great job in Justice League, which was a very minor movie or meh movie. Wonder Woman, she led the ship. I just think for me it was just because Wonder Woman, there's a few of the emotional scenes where I feel like she didn't knock it out of the park, or she didn't hit me as strong as Daphne Keane, who is an 11-year-old girl, and there's times, like I said, that Logan scene, the scenes where she finally talks. She could be a badass in one moment, comedic in one moment, and super emotional. Gal Gadot does those too, but there's just times where when she's emotional, I didn't feel it, but lots of other people don't feel that way, and it's one that I don't care, like, She deserves it as well. She's leading the franchise. She did a great performance. So yeah, I'm not displeased that Gal got the win here. But that was my vote. Tyler, you want to speak as the other outlier, and we'll let the Wonder Woman fanboys take it.
For me, Gal
I wouldn't call
Gadot,
myself a Wonder Woman fan.
it was
I know.
a very good performance.
For which one?
Gal Gadot.
I thought
A
you said
very
Daphne.
good performance, but I can't give it anything more than that.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
very good performance, and it was
Yeah.
just all around really good, but it wasn't anything exceptional for me. For Daphne Keane, it was just the way she... I think the biggest thing for me was the way she displayed that maturity of the way, like, her character grew up in such a shitty situation, and and the way she displayed, like, the way her character developed through that, but was still a kid throughout the whole movie still. I think that's like a very fine line, and for a child actor to be able to pull that off is just absolutely phenomenal.
Who also didn't have much dialogue in the film, which some people say, oh, that's a negative. For me, it was a pro because, like, not that I don't want her to talk, but for me, she just did so much acting with her body and her face
body
that
language
with
and
kids,
stuff.
I don't think can do that. People throw out, like, the Stranger Things kids and kids. They're all great, too.
That's
We
like-
dominated some of them. But, like, you look at, like, Finn Wolfhard, who plays Richie. That's a very fun, comedic. He gets to say a lot of good lines. Like, I feel like it's a lot easier to pull off than what she did.
Because like when you have lots of lines, you have things to work with. Whereas facial expressions and just your emotions, that's all on you, 100%. You have to pull all that out of your ass.
And if
all
she-
your
ass.
face.
And if she doesn't work, that movie might
Yeah.
not have worked as well either.
Oh,
Because she's in it
100%.
so
And
much.
One scene that actually stands out to me for that is when it's earlier on when the villain kind of comes to take her from Logan, and she comes out of the building and she like throws the head on the ground, and she just looks so intimidating, and she's a fucking kid.
Oh yeah.
And like that like being able to pull that off and everything else in the film is just absolutely phenomenal for me. So for me that was like a no-brainer. Honestly.
Oh yeah. Wonder Woman, Kirk, start with you because you're the biggest Wonder Woman fan maybe in the world.
Of all time.
Yeah. For all time.
Yeah, I don't really know like what more there is to say. Like she was just phenomenal. She was so strong as the Wonder Woman character. Like I just can't picture any other Wonder Woman actress other than the original. I really don't know what to say. Like she just like every time she was on screen, I was just in awe, just starstruck. She just I think she just did the role so well. I think she had such a good accent with like the Amazonians.
Well, that's her natural accent, so she didn't.
Yeah, no,
change
that's
it.
what I'm
Okay,
saying.
okay.
Like I felt like she was such.
But
a
she
perfect
trained her
fit
whole
for that.
life with that accent, knowing that one day she might be Wonder Woman in a Hollywood movie.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Her
No,
mom
she just had the
groomed her to be
look.
Wonder Woman.
All of her fight scenes were badass. Like, yeah, like it's. I don't know. Like I also didn't see it. I didn't see Blade Runner. I mean,
You saw Thor?
Yeah, the chick from Thor. I didn't think that she was even close. Honestly, I don't think anyone should have voted for her.
Whoa!
I actually will say, because I didn't really like her a whole lot the first time I saw the movie, but watching it again yesterday, I like that character
I've only seen her once.
a bit
so.
more. So
A bit more.
it's a slight improvement, but an upward swing.
I will throw it
excited
out,
to see her
though,
in Infinity
Daphne Keane as the child act, like she was phenomenal.
As the child
as the child
The
actress.
child
Of the
No,
millennium.
But you brought up great points, like just her body language and like doing such a phenomenal like job in that role without having like a lot of voice lines really. And the first time she talks it's just hilarious when she's just speaking in Spanish and she's just like flipping
Going
off.
off.
Yeah, it's just like it's comedic at that point, but like she's so intimidating. Like she just had so many different points throughout the movie that she was awesome, but I can't get past Wonder Woman, man.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Yeah, I think Gal Gadot for me, one, I think she's just like super charismatic. So every scene
Yeah.
I just find her like interesting,
Yeah.
or like, and her interactions with like the kind of love interest character, or like her friends, or
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, or what was the name of her like squad of
Ares,
goons or whatever.
Squad of
The
goons.
squad.
I think they were officially called Squad of Goons. Yeah,
Yeah.
just everything.
Squad
She's always
Goons.
interesting and intriguing, and that's obviously a big switch up from what we had kind of been expecting or seeing from other DC movies. So it was kind of an unexpected performance. And I think one thing you mentioned too is like the action scenes. I thought those were really good, really well done. I mean, I don't know how much of that is like stunt double or her doing it. I don't really know, but it still looked really natural and really well done. So I think that's why. And like the look, yeah, she just.
Oh yeah, like
she just looks exactly like that character.
Oh, I know, and like she just had a presence, right? Like even I know it's a different movie, but like Justice League, like every time, like she just felt like the face of the team, right?
Yeah. She was one of the better parts of Justice League, so yeah.
Yeah, I look at the... Because I wasn't as big a fan of the Wonder Woman movie as everyone else was, and for a few reasons, like, you know, the villain or, you know, the squad of goons, or I wasn't as big a fan as the love interest. So really, the only thing that keeps that movie is still, like,
I love Chris Pine. Oh,
the Steve.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I really like Wonder Woman, and I love that character, but the rest of the movie to me wasn't so great. It was
about the
pretty,
love
like,
interest.
for like average. So I don't know. I think that's really just shows that like that was still a good movie, and it was almost entirely because of like that character.
Oh,
so,
for sure. Yeah.
Feel the Fields.
You know, I actually watched this movie last week recently, and it's still as fresh and like amazing.
Well, yeah, you just watched it last week.
Yeah.
No, we watched it last week recently. Specifically.
Recently. It was so good. You know, this movie, it holds true.
That statement just doesn't make any fucking sense now. Dylan just broke it down. But you know what? That's exactly what Taterfield's saying. Anytime I still don't think Taylor's gonna surprise us.
Yeah. That's right.
Last week
He
recently.
does this every week sometimes.
Yeah, I honestly, it holds true since the time we went and got the pre-showing of it. It's glorious.
Just to throw
And
that in there,
just
you
to
know.
throw that
Saw
in
it 2
there.
weeks early.
Oh
you know.
yeah, and she lives and breathes the role of Wonder Woman. I can't imagine anyone else that could pull it off
Except for the original.
Except for the original, yes,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course. But her transitions between being like serious and upset and just happy, outgoing, and just warrior and intense was just like perfect.
From happy to warrior.
Happy warrior.
In 5 easy
for
steps.
sure. One day,
Like Al
happy
Capote.
warrior.
That one scene though when she parties with all those people and then she goes back there the next day and they're all dead. I mean, it takes a serious person to act, you know, that emotion.
Yeah.
She does it, and she turns on her love interest, you know, and that's intense. I mean, the chemistry alone that she has.
She also lets him fucking die, but that's okay.
No, she was deaf. It wasn't totally her fault.
Yeah. She could have stopped that plane.
Probably. She had such great chemistry with every single character. I mean, I feel like they could have put, like, off the top of your head, what's the worst actor you know?
Oh snap! That's a big question.
Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau. They could have put Tommy Wiseau in that movie, and they would have had great chemistry, and the movie would still been a 10 out of 10.
Okay, that's a big fucking stretch.
She
my
can
friend.
bounce
Okay,
off
fine.
of different scenarios and characters so well, and she just
Jared Leto.
I would.
I like you have a harder time
You know,
defending Jared Leto than Tommy Wiseau.
honestly believe, unless they restructure it, we'll get to see that.
Oh god.
Great story, man.
I'll still end the year this way. Jared Leto's great in Blade Runner. I always shot that out. He did a great
He
job.
is. Yes.
He's fantastic.
Shout out to
in that.
him. I mean, not good enough to be in the supporting actor category, but
Maybe Blade Runner 2049
or the
Part 2.
or any
Yeah.
mention at all.
24/9.
Yeah. Best Golden Geek actor: Adam Driver as Kylo Ren in Last Jedi. I almost called him Logan Lerman.
Logan Lerman.
Hugh Jackman for Logan in Logan. James McAvoy as 1,000 different people in Split. Ryan Gosling for Blade Runner as Kay, and then Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Spider-Man Homecoming. I think there was a few outliers. There's pretty much a lock other than you and someone else. I think did you also? Yeah, of course you voted for Kylo Ren because Hugh Jackman didn't do it for me. But even Jessica, who was not a big fan of Logan, still voted for the winner and the deserved winner, the best actor of 2017, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I think this is 100% solid. There to me was no other choice. I still think it's a fucking crime. He's not nominated for an Oscar. I watched these fucking Oscar movies. He should fucking be in there. Fuck Daniel Day. Daniel Day, fine. Denzel, are you fucking kidding me for that fucking movie? Denzel, he's won before. I'm so happy you won. Denzel was not in the Dark
Well,
Tower.
I just have a shoot.
Wow.
Hugh Jackman he brought the role to a close, a great close. So much power, so much emotion. To me, it's a career-defining role. It's something that his career, unless he gets to the MCU, is all downhill from here. Because I just think, you look at a performance sometimes and that's just like when an actor's at their peak. And I think it's because the writing was so good. He's played Wolverine for so long. He knew this was the last time. There's just all these elements. And just at the end of the day, he's a great actor. And it felt like the same old Wolverine, but he still brought something new to it. And just powerful. And yeah, I'm going to miss seeing this guy. every time. He's phenomenal, and Hugh Jackman. I was never gonna vote for anybody else. All these other guys are good, but Hugh Jackman is on another level.
Mm-hmm. I think he truly displayed like a broken, tired old man in so many ways, whether it was just like through the way he's delivering his lines or the looks on his face and like just his look that they gave to him in general in that movie. He just looks like exhausted, and I think he really displays that. But then towards the end of the movie when he takes that medicine or potion or whatever it is and turns back and like the old school Wolverine. Exactly, that's what I should have said. That makes so much more sense. Instead of potions, who the fuck says potions? Anyway, he takes the steroids and he just turns into like that raging beast again, and it's so scary and so badass just watching him run through the trees, just jumping and slashing people. And
that's why I use that in the Golden Geeks compilation. Go check it out.
Golden Geeks.
It's actually a really good video.
Thank you. I try my best.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of pairing up with what we were talking about with Professor X earlier, the way those two played off each other is, well, it's so much fun to see just because we've seen those two characters for so long, and seeing the culmination of both those characters in one movie and the way they interacted.
It's so different though too.
It really is like such a distinct relationship between those two because they have like such good chemistry with each other as well as the writing and acting and the whole movie in general. Right?
And before, it's always been like very much like a father-son relationship. This was that, but it was like a really twisted version of that because at times like didn't feel like he did want to be taken care of him, but you could tell it was such a burden on Hugh Jackman / Logan. And it was such, like them swearing at each other and just like kind of mouthing off at one another. So good. Yeah. Tyler, you want to say before the Kylo Ren fanboys jump in?
Oh, I don't think there's a whole lot more to say. I mean, Jackman is one of my favorite actors, and he just absolutely destroyed this role. I'll say
he sliced it.
He set up literally anyone else who wants to go into play the next Wolverine.
In the stew.
Yeah, like anyone who wants to play Wolverine has been set up for failure because of Jackman's performance and the way he brought this role.
Dude, it's so good they'll never cast it again.
It is greedy.
I mean, he just closed out this role and the whole character of Logan that he's built up all these years and in just such a perfect way.
Yeah.
And I don't think that performance is gonna be topped for like years.
Yeah.
This
it's got a history to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is just gonna be like this role is gonna go down. Like it may not win an Oscar, but I think it's gonna be remembered.
Geek Award.
It's gonna be remembered.
That's more important than
Yeah, one day when we have the actual award and we're hopefully famous enough, we will ship it to Hugh Jackman.
Jackman, if you
have him on the show for an interview,
send us an email.
Send us an email. GeekVerse podcast.
If you watch this, just let us know. We'll put something together for you. We'll send you something.
We'll spend our own money, get a nice metal
special
trophy.
man.
I'll throw some candies in there, make it good.
Are you gonna throw some candies even though you didn't vote for him?
I would, because I think you did a phenomenal job.
I'll write a well-written letter for you as well.
It better be well written.
I'll proofread it.
And you'll get free access to our Patreon.
Yes. I had to think of it for a second.
I was gonna maybe ask for $1, but no, I'm gonna do it for free.
Half price.
Yeah, some good Gollum stuff. Half
price.
Too much for
Yeah, no, just absolutely amazing. And for again, this was just an instant pick for me. There's nothing else to consider.
All right, Kylo Ren fanboys.
Wow.
That's loud.
I feel like a major part for my decision was Last Jedi was definitely more fresh in my mind as opposed to Logan. Because looking back on it, when I was making my decision, let's be honest, I just thought of I didn't think it was Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I just thought it was Wolverine. Whenever I see Hugh Jackman, I just think he's Wolverine. So it's he's not even an actor. He's just being who he is.
He doesn't act like that.
I hate to break it to you. He actually doesn't have the adamantium claws. Those are
That's CGI?
Special effects.
Oh, damn. No, but looking back, I'll still defend my pick. Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, I just think he's such a phenomenal actor, and he just played, the Star Wars villain role so well. He's the best villain in any Star Wars movie ever. Better than Vader, because you don't see his face.
Wow, that's a big turn.
Easily.
Yeah, oh no, for sure. You don't see the emotion that he has.
But just because after Force Awakens, you were not on that bandwagon, so I'm surprised you've made a big jump with Kylo.
What do you mean?
Force Awakens, you're a little uneasy, and you
Well, the very first time, he's just a rat-faced boy. Come on.
He's a rat-faced boy.
Well, let's get a badass in here. And then I watched it again, and I'm like,
let's
holy
get a
fuck.
badass in here.
I'm like...
Let's get a badass. Look at we got a badass over here.
No, yeah.
Snoke was the badass.
The transitions of his characters, and he like he almost seems like bipolar at parts throughout the movie.
He
Like,
definitely
like
is.
you know, like he's
Where you
like you
find
never
him.
know what
Yeah.
like he's so unpredictable. He has so much emotion in his decisions, and like he's like you visibly see like he just doesn't know what he's gonna do really. Like he's taking it step by step. Like when he killed Snoke, like he just saw the opportunity, he just did it. Like he didn't think about it really. Like he just did it, and then you just see the emotion when he's like realizing that he's just like the man now. But I don't know. Like if I watched Logan probably 2 days ago, I'd probably choose Logan just because it would have been fresher in my head. Like,
Pressure.
But like, I'm not gonna take anything away from Hugh Jackman. Like, I totally agree with you guys. He's definitely deserves the Oscar. Like, not even just for the movie, for the whole franchise. Like, he's just the Wolverine, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's phenomenal. But I stand by my pick. Adam Driver's phenomenal.
So Taylor, you know, notorious Logan hater over here.
Didn't do it for me.
Didn't do it for me.
Didn't do it for me. No
Next,
chance.
whenever the next movie review we don't like I don't like, I'm opening with that. Didn't do it for me.
There's gonna be a new Wolverine movie next year. It's gonna be some random guy. Taylor's just gonna love him. He's gonna be like, oh,
He
I don't remember the
100%.
last actor.
It'll be Nick Cage.
Oh fuck yeah.
So what happened to Kylo?
Sucks.
He really did it for me.
Not Katie. I'm gonna give a good shout out to Logan actually before I go, because honestly, his performance,
It
I'm
feels
ready
so
going.
fake.
He's gotta go.
Yeah.
his performance, I honestly, it was truly incredible and passionate and profound, and the way he connected with Professor X, it was truly remarkable to see, especially after such a journey, two characters form such a bond and really form that relationship with each other and go through so many different perspectives. Like, yes, like it was a father-son weird alternative kind of relationship, but it changed from being very much a simple like pupil-teacher kind of relationship, moving into, you know, Wolverine kind of progressing and learning and taking on so much more and gaining this insight, and just 180ing around to now it's just such horrible conditions for both of them, and they're just trying. And, you know, the whole scene and atmosphere of this film, it works so well with Hugh Jackman trying to portray and flesh out this character. And, you know, like you said, like, it's just Hugh Jackman is Wolverine at the end of the day, and I think he was absolutely fantastic. And I know I've been kind of beat around the bush with it before, but I will definitely give it out. It's the Golden Geeks, I'm gonna be honest. And he definitely deserves to get that. Now,
But you didn't vote for him.
I didn't vote for
You're
him.
being
now.
honest.
It's
but
personal opinion.
It is
Let's go
personal
back to
now.
that.
Now, for what did do it for me, vote-wise, Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, oh my god, you know, as I said before, he is a fantastic developing character, what we know and what we're going to get to see. It's just, there's mystery and anticipation involved there, and he just brings the life and the passion to Kylo Ren. That whole moment where he's on, I can't remember the name of the planet, this red...
Oh, it's Crate, by the way.
Great, thank you.
Crate?
Pocket.
It's called Crate.
Great.
Who's the real Cantina Conversations host here?
Alright, so he's on Grape.
What the hell?
Right, we go far.
Doing gang signs? I don't understand.
So,
No
the
answer.
whole moment where...
Discard that, discard.
The whole moment, though, when leading up to when Luke walks out and he's just... Hux is like, you want to go down there? And I think that's a bad idea. And he's like... Phew, and then he just... he goes down there, and just the moment he's walking off of his starship and he's just walking into the sand or the salt.
Taylor loves watching villains walk, by the way. He'll always
Yeah.
shout that out with
I
Anakin walking
YouTube
up to that.
that shit all day.
When Anakin's walking up to kill those kids, he always talks about that fucking scene, and then, yeah.
If you ever wonder who makes those villain walking compilations on YouTube, it's Taylor.
A 10-hour montage.
But no, you're looking it up. He's looking it up.
you find 10 hours of villains walking. Wow.
Sometimes he slows them down.
Yeah,
or
he edited them
put like
all.
dubstep
Walking
on them.
Dead.
Or,
No, it's all Walking Dead shit.
It probably
Fuck
is
you,
me.
Walking Dead.
that's probably, yeah. That's also,
yeah, also you.
But no, like him walking on the starship, and it's just the music's rising, and you can see, wow, this is what Kylo Ren, he was not expecting this. Luke Skywalker has just appeared out of nowhere, and Kylo Ren is moving full force in a fluid stride, and what?
We'll keep going, just keep it, let him go.
So
We still got one more award to give him after this.
he just him fighting Luke Skywalker in that moment, and just the satisfaction that as an actor he delivers in that facial expression after he feels like he's killed Luke Skywalker, but he hasn't, and the audience.
You should do a dramatic
Honestly, the look on
reenactment.
your face is like you just discovered that was not what happened in the movie as well.
You need to sit in front of a
That's
classroom
so cool.
and read out your script version of this. He thought he killed him, but he hasn't.
Well, I mean,
That's
that's
the teacher.
That's just it, like,
Yeah.
and it takes a really strong, powerful actor to display that kind of like all of a sudden like realizations and like facial features.
Realization, go.
Facial features.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
truly
got plastic surgery to do.
Pretend you killed like Luke Skywalker. Now he's alive.
And it's like sprouting out. Oh, now you're walking through the sand. I don't know what to do.
Now you're a butterfly. Tableau.
I don't want Taylor to direct
All right.
the movie now.
That's it for Taylor. Final award.
I would love to see a movie directed. by
Oh,
Taylor.
it'll happen one day. Final award: Best Geek Film, Blade Runner, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, It, Logan, War for the Plan, The Eighth.
It's a big one, folks.
Great year. I would have voted for, at some point, none of them except for the one I voted for. The only one that was close was Blade Runner for me. It was back and forth. War for the Planet of the Apes, I really enjoyed, but to me, I still think it should have been nominated for Best Film because we don't have it in a single other category other than score, just shouting it out there. If you look at all these other ones, they're all over the place. War for the Planet of the Apes, not really around, even though I fought for Andy Serkis. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was great, but I think Blade Runner Logan had a bit more in it. Same thing as Guardians. It just had not as good as Blade Runner and Logan, but I threw my vote to Logan. I've already talked about many times that I think it's just a fantastic movie, and I think it's just something that we'll be talking about for a while, and Brady's was talking about a bit, but the other thing is you have to think for superheroes, it's changing now at the MCU because it's this big continuity, but we don't really get the end of a superhero story in movie form, right? It's always, a new actor goes on, or they just reboot it. Like, Tom Hall or Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's still out there, crying about Gwen Stacy's death. We don't know what happened to him. Toby is dancing with Mary Jane in some pub. Logan, we know he's fucking dead. He died, his story, he saved his daughter, he couldn't save his, fake dad. He had this very tough life, but Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, we know the story from beginning to end, and that's a rarity, and I think that encapsulates Logan as a character, encapsulates Professor X, X-23, who I'm a huge fan of. Great action, very good score. Obviously didn't get in the best score, but it fits the film. And lots of twists and turns, like the clone Logan to me is something that seemed super obvious, and I didn't see it coming. I never would have thought. And it was awesome. You got to see a young, really buff Hugh Jackman, so you got to that parallel. So great ending.
Oh, the death scene. I just got chills.
I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate they didn't kiss.
Oh, I know that.
So did Logan win? I don't think you've actually said what won yet.
Logan has won.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
it
makes
was
sense.
it was a close rate. No, it was 3 for Logan, 2 for It, which I'm excited to talk about, and then 1 for Blade Runner, which was Delmas. So Delmas, you could take over and talk about Blade Runner if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I thought, to me, it seemed like something completely different. I think it was a really interesting take on a sequel. Obviously, it's a sequel that's 30 years later, both in real time and in the movie world. But I thought it was a really interesting take because it kept kind of the the interesting art nature of the first movie and kind of took those things, and it didn't really go on to answer some questions that are offered in the first movie, but it just kind of expanded the world. I think visually it has some of the coolest shots I can think of in recent memory, just with the landscapes and just kind of this barren world, this kind of ominous vibe. Obviously the soundtrack I think combined that perfectly and brought it all together. It made so much sense. I think it was such a great way to bring back the character of Harrison Ford's character from the original movie and tackle that character after he's been off doing who knows what for 30 years. I think Ryan Gosling is playing like an android character. I thought it still displayed a really interesting array of emotions. Maybe he didn't have a whole lot of emotions necessarily, but it was still a really interesting, captivating performance, even from a character that maybe doesn't feel emotions necessarily, but still that drive through the movie of trying to find out what his past is just kept me interested the whole time. I didn't mention this, but the character, the Joy character, I can't remember, Anna de Armas, I think her name is, the actress, was very close for me in Wonder Woman, even though that character is kind of I mean, it's a fabrication. And it's supposed to be like kind of a one-dimensional character.
Yeah,
but I still loved that dynamic between her character and Ryan Gosling's character. Is super, super weird, very strange movie. It gave me a whole lot of. It was the movie that had me feel the most emotions this year, but it wasn't or last year I should say. It wasn't obviously as sad as Logan or something like that, but it still it made me feel like off or uneasy, and I think it really captured that. And that's I'm a big Pink Floyd fan. That's something they do a lot with their music, and I feel like that movie kind of established that feeling in a different way. So
yeah, it was tough for me because I think with Logan, with my emotional ties, that's why I get the edge. But I wish this came out this year or last year because Blade Runner I really wanted to vote for. It's like for me, like really, like what my favorite film is. It's like a 1A and a 1B. Obviously, we almost split with worst film, but yeah, Blade Runner is phenomenal. So I back everything you said.
What else? What did you guys vote for?
I voted Logan. I thought it was a steal.
Bunch of Logan boys.
Yeah, Kyle voted Logan as well. Yeah, so
I also didn't see 3 of those movies.
That's despicable.
Not really. You gotta see Blade Runner. So
yeah, I like Blade Runner was just absolutely amazing too. It was so close behind, but for me, like Logan was just a sure pick. But Blade Runner is all like it.
It's close. They're so good.
Different years, right?
Yeah.
Different years.
Yeah, and I asked you this in private chat, Taylor, but Jessica picking it didn't surprise me because she was not based on Logan. I think she liked Guardians enough. It surprised me that you picked because I thought, and I didn't think even score-wise, which your scores don't really matter because Suicide Squad's a 10 and who knows. But I just got the vibe you're a much, much bigger fan than Blade Runner than it. So I was surprised when I saw your vote went to it. I just thought you really enjoyed. I know you still really enjoyed, but I thought that was going to be. I thought I was caught off guard. I'm just saying the same thing over. Yeah.
No, I
Luke's alive.
yes, like I did enjoy Blade Runner. I mean, I even thought about throwing it towards Planet of the Apes, but as far as it goes, like Planet of the Apes wise, I mean, yes, it was a fantastic movie, but
those
for me,
chimes,
those chimes, fuck. But no, this it was the score that set it apart, and then looking at the other nominations, Guardians of the Galaxy was good, but it wasn't comparable to the rest in that sense. I went with it because. Yes, it wasn't like my favorite score out of all the rest, but it definitely it worked well with the film, and I really liked how everything stacked together. And at the end of the day, it was a great horror movie, and it delivered everything that I was not expecting and more.
Did it give you nightmares?
Maybe 1 or 2.
It might have. There might be a few, but I don't remember.
Not nightmares, like just Pennywise in your dream.
I think I
happy.
Definitely twitched in my sleep a few times. Yeah.
Because of that movie.
What was the most memorable movie? Was it It?
It?
Well, maybe probably Last Jedi if it would have been in there, but
Most nomination for
Out of the
most
list.
memorable.
Out of the list, what's the most memorable?
The first one that comes to mind is probably Last Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to the other ones, like Blade Runner was great, but I mean, Logan, I mean, you guys earned a hell of a movie there.
we earned it.
You
Right?
guys.
Yeah, sorry, Star Wars.
I have no
movies.
problem with Logan winning.
No, me neither.
I accept it.
Yeah, sorry, Star Wars, Rogue One, Last Jedi. Always missed out, but you know what? There's a solo
There's
this
Han
year.
Solo.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in there. So yeah, that is your winners. Another great year for the Golden Geeks. Some great winners up there. I'm happy with all the picks. There's some great movies. I hope next year is just as good as far as nominees, and we don't have to.
We've had a lot to talk about.
Scrape the barrel, yeah. So there you go. That was kind of like our probably final discussion on like 2017 films. You know, like that's our best of and whatnot. Let's get into some news.
News time.
Where would we want to start? Marvel, DC. I'll let the group pick.
Sorry, DC.
Yeah, we'll do
DC.
Start at the
So,
bottom, make our way up.
whoa.
And on a high note.
So with DC, I got a couple things here. I'm going to start with the main topic because I think it's something fun. I don't know if it could actually happening, but Time Warner is a company. They own Warner Brothers and they own DC. So Warner Brothers is the film studio that's everything that's not DC Comics. So stuff like Harry Potter, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously DC is this unit of big superheroes. They are trying to merge with AT&T, which is this big like cell phone provider in America, and they're trying to get in the entertainment business. And there's a rumor going around that if this merger doesn't happen, so it's kind of like Disney buying Fox. If this doesn't happen, Time Warner is thinking about selling off separately Warner Brothers and DC. And like I said, I don't know if it could happen. We can talk about who would buy them, but is it possible that we live in a world that Disney could buy DC? And like I mean it is, but I mean like realistically, it's possible. They're selling it, they could buy it, but I'm asking you guys, is it something Disney would do?
Honestly, it doesn't really seem like there's any brakes on the Disney hype train. Like,
Yeah.
They have an infinite
they
amount
want
of
Harry
money.
Potter in
I think
that.
they figured out how
Yeah.
to spawn money out of thin air. So
They got
it's
a
called
money
kids.
tree.
I don't
Yeah.
think they. I don't see them not buying it if they have the opportunity.
Mhm.
We've seen them like spend a shit ton of money on. I mean, I can't
I think
remember
Fox was $6 billion, I think. 6 point something billion to get Fox.
ridiculous
Yeah.
amounts of money, and it doesn't really feel like it's something they've ever have to consider. Like they
Yeah.
just go for it. They
Yeah.
they just do it. They just buy it. They have
Yeah.
all this money. So I think they definitely buy to see if the opportunity arose.
Mhm. Do you think... Because my thing is, I think they could, but I just wonder, do they want them both?
I
You
know,
know?
yeah.
That's a lot of work, but at the same time, I guess maybe Kevin Feige just has
But then you don't
porn,
have
and he's like,
competition, right? You're competing against yourself.
yeah, I know. But I guess competition thing for me goes up because I thought they would have thought that with Fox, but like, oh no, everyone loves Deadpool, everyone loves Logan, let's just buy them, and they're ours now. You
Right.
know, like I don't know. And it's another thing for me. I don't know if I want that one to happen. I want the Fox one to happen. It's still part of me didn't, but I don't know if I want the DC one to happen. Yes, at one point in my life, I loved live in a world where we have Avengers versus Justice League movie, and you have a poster of Iron Man, Robert Downey, and then whoever the fuck's going to be playing Batman, because it's not going to be Ben Affleck. But somebody, maybe Michael
Yeah,
Keaton, they'll just figure it out. But like, for me, I think they could, but I don't know if I want that. I want that for...
I think we have to wait and see what happens with X-Men and those characters and see how those movies turn out and
Yeah.
if those really feel like they fit the mold of like what Marvel is doing with their current movies, or if they still feel like stylistically different.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they're not making R-rated movies, and that's kind of the problem as well. So
Yeah.
from that perspective, I really don't want. I mean, I want there to be competition as well. I don't want Disney to have all the superhero stuff, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. They can do whatever they want with it.
Because it could just suck.
Obviously,
and
it's
then
good signs so far with the MCU, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it might give us like that. I think people talk about superhero fatigue, and that's I think when that might happen is if Disney has all the superheroes and they're making all of these movies, and then they start to all feel the same. Even if you have,
Yeah.
obviously Kevin Feige, he's a busy guy. He's not going to be making all of these.
He
He's not going
might.
to be a producer on all of these.
He's been a producer on all 18 so far, the Marvel movies, though.
Yeah,
so-
but now if you add X-Men in there,
And
Marvel's
DC.
still going strong,
Yeah.
and DC there's not enough time in the day for him to do all of that. So, I mean, I think they obviously have different people working on all these studios, if you will, and hopefully that would result in a different vibe, different feel. But
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't really want to see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting.
I don't want to see it happen yet.
Mm-hmm. Did you say yet?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's just like a lot of what Dylan said. I just think eventually, if Disney bought them, it would start to feel samey.
Yeah.
And I really want there to be like overall different ideas of what those universes are.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe way down the road, I think that it could be a good thing for them to all be under one roof. But
Now, do you want that just
Right
because the
now.
one roof, or do you want that because the crossover potential? Like, what? Why would you
I think
want them
crossover
to-
potential is like a huge thing.
It definitely is.
But I think I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. One company just owning like all of it.
Mhm.
I do think that for them to be creatively different, there needs to be different. Like I think they just need to stay separate for right now.
Yeah.
I really want DC to find its own footing, doing its own thing, before Disney buys them out if they do.
Yeah.
So, and as you said, a lot of things Disney maybe just doesn't want to take that on.
Yeah.
Because it might even make things worse for DC in a way.
Well, yeah, and I do, like I said, I want to shout it again that this is not like a rumor that's around. It's just the rumor is they could be sold, and to me, it's just with them just kind of on the thumbnail is that Mickey Mouse meme of him with the gauntlet, and he has all these companies on the gauntlet, and DC's the middle one. I think there's many people that could buy DC. I think Apple's a big one that could buy, because they've been threatening getting in there. If Netflix gets big enough, Comcast, they tried to buy Fox, and they backed off of it. Universal, like there's tons of companies out there, but I do just think that it's just because, do they want to let anybody else get it, you know? But at the same time, I kind of hope they do, because with X-Men and Fantastic Four and all this stuff, that's 3 years down the line before they can actually play with those toys. Once they get those movies, that's like 20 years worth of stuff they can do with. Like, they don't need to do, like, they don't need Batman, they don't need Wonder Woman, they don't need any of that, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think they needed X-Men either, you know? They still...
Yeah, I don't know if they needed them yet, but I think in 5 years they would. So I think that's them thinking of like, oh, eventually we'll need them. But I think once they got those characters, I don't know if they need DC for like 20, 30 years. I think because they can tell all these new stories that they couldn't tell with Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
It's just, and I hope it doesn't happen. If they do sell it, it'd be interesting to see where it could end up, and if Disney, I don't think they would. I don't think this go around it would happen, but I just want to talk about if it was in the realm of possibility. But Kirkland, Taylor?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. Obviously, like the crossovers, that would be freaking just like
Also,
limitless.
being able to watch it all under one streaming service.
Oh yeah,
that
would
is
be
true.
great,
I
yeah.
didn't even think about
That'd
that.
be nice.
But I agree with you. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like honestly, in the near future, Disney's just gonna be like, they're just gonna run the world. Like Earth is just gonna be known as Disney. like it's gonna be called Disney.
They're gonna rename Earth.
Yeah, they're gonna rename Earth.
Kevin
Disney
Feige's
World.
gonna run for president.
Exactly. Like it's just gonna happen, and they're gonna own everything. But as of right now, I don't think that it's necessary for them to just own everyone. I mean, they could. Like we talked about, their pockets are
financially.
yeah, they're financially just limitless.
Hey, there's a podcast out there that would love to be.
If they want to subscribe to Patreon,
yeah, if they want to buy our
it's like
Patreon.
we will not give you a discount. We'll actually up the price. But no, I feel like I agree with what you were saying. How like I feel like if they kind of owned it, like obviously they'd have different like sub studios, but at the same time it would kind of be the same formula.
It would, because I feel like Star Wars and Marvel, they feel different, but they still feel similar at the same time. They feel like they're made in the same factory, and like to throw that out, I think that's the biggest thing. If you look at Justice League, I thought that was them trying to make a Marvel movie, Justice League. When I watched that, I was like, one, it's not a good Marvel movie, and two, I just don't want that. I always said BVS, and I like BVS, but BVS and Man of Steel, I'll use Man of Steel. Man of Steel I did not like, but they are taking it in a much, much different tone than anything MCU is doing, and I applaud them for that, because, oh, it's something different. Wasn't for me, but if everything is just like Justice League, and it's like, I don't want that. I don't want this. I don't want Batman to be Iron Man, you know? And I should say that, because I still feel like Black Panther was enough of a change for Marvel to me, honestly. Yeah. Black Panther did feel different, so that's where I do have faith for the X-Men stuff, that they just kind of did shut me up recently with Black Panther. Like, hey, we could make something super serious again, and like we could stop selling kids to toys. Wait. We can stop selling toys.
What the fuck? Oh, it's got dark.
They just pretty much with Black Panther made sure like we could stop selling toys to kids if we want to. We just love that money. But I think they could do it. It's just a question of, does it actually happen? Who knows? But don't sell kids for toys.
For me, it's a thing I like is that
the Toy Story 4. That's the plot. Like
DC is kind of like that, like early access, like experimental kind of breeding grounds for new ideas. And like if Disney takes that into the fold, then they're not gonna want to, like, sure, they'll want to try new things, but they're gonna stick with what they know works and is gonna make them money.
Oh yeah, you'll get,
and you're not gonna get those crazy like
suicides.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll say
you're talking me into me wanting to buy them though. I don't know if we ever needed.
But the thing is, like, I think like as far as good movies go, we have enough good superhero movies with Marvel already that even if DC movies suck, it's hard to be upset with superhero movies because we have so much good stuff from Marvel.
Yeah.
And so I like having, even though it's not working out right now, I like having DC as kind of like the underdog of trying new things to get back in the game.
Yeah.
Because eventually, I do think it'll lead to. They'll hit something.
But Wonder Woman was a big hit, remember? Wonder Woman was Black Panther before that happened. Wonder Woman kept making money, breaking all these records, and Wonder Woman 2 could do that.
Won't, like, obviously with Black Panther, they did, like, they're showing they're going to try new things and stuff, But it was still a Marvel movie.
Yeah, they still didn't
so
be like, this is rated R.
I want DC to be that kind of spawning ground for just these whack, like completely different from that Marvel vibe you get. Just kind of do their own thing and try, and sure, it might fail, but eventually I think they are going to hit something that's just going to be like wildly different from Marvel, but still really good in its own way.
Because if they keep making movies like Justice League, then I say Disney should just buy them because they can make that movie better.
Yeah, 100%. So I want people to keep trying things with DC.
Oh yeah.
But if that doesn't work, or if Disney just buys DC, but then kind of like has it as its own thing for that same purpose, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my biggest con for the whole X-Men Fantastic Four thing, right? That we talked about like Logan and everything recently. Like, I still wanted to wait a little bit because I want to see what they're going to do with Deadpool. I do still worry that, Black Panther, like you said, is a bit different, but will we still get rated R Deadpools, rated R like type of Logan type movies? And I don't know. We won't know for another few years, but until then, we just kind of have to assume what we have, and what we have is pretty, family oriented. It plays it safe, but they make good quality movies, and I think every once in a while they make ones that are better than other ones. But Tiff, you've been quiet over there.
If not now, it's gonna happen soon that Disney will buy them. It's just, and from a company standpoint,
so you think if they go and sell, Disney just buys them? Like,
no, they'll wait and they'll analyze it probably, or they're going to let someone else buy it and then probably
buy the company that bought them.
Yeah. Well,
Apple.
They'll probably just kind of see the possibility, like, okay, what is the possible future and outline if this company or this company buys DC, where that is going to go, how it'll affect them and their revenue, and then down the line, what's it going to be like profit-wise if they can reach in and buy it, if it'll be competition. They're going to look at multiple different aspects, but I feel like one of the top ones is that, they're going to assimilate into and bring it into their own market. I mean, it only makes sense. And to be honest, yes, I think it would be good, but at the same time, I don't want it to be attached because I've grown up knowing, okay, DC is one thing and Marvel is another. They're both separate. I like that. And it's just, it is hard for me to come to terms with the fact, okay, Disney's going to have literally their hand in everyone's pot. Like, wow. So do I think that Disney could do a better job? Yes. But it will have that Disney kind of feel, that Marvel feel, just like how Star Wars kind of has a little bit of it. And I would hope that we're going to probably get to really experience it with Fox. So if they did buy DC right now, I would like to hope that they would wait a few years, like a long, long time, before they even touch doing any of the DC hero movies. Now,
I think so. Batman show up in an end credit scene for Avengers. That's the other thing. Would they keep them separately, or if they own both? Because I take it as they would own. I don't know what would happen with the comics, because I think the comics are included with the Time Warner thing. Like, they have everything DC. Do you do that? Do you still keep them separate, or do you do the, like, fuck it, we're putting this all together, and, like, whatever Marvel DC, like, new title or whatever it is, and, like, that, like, there is a Gotham in this world. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't really do it in the movies. There can't be, like, a Gotham around, right?
I think that really convolutes, like, the current MCU, and that's where it gets tricky, because that's something that Marvel's been trying to do, is, establish, like, a cohesive universe, and for the most part, they've done, like, a pretty good job of making sure every movie and the TV shows like fit in the same world.
Well, that's where we'll see what they do with mutants, because we've not heard a single thing about mutants.
I'm super curious how they kind of like maybe retcon some stuff, or just like
time travel,
pretend like that. Oh, that was always the case, but it didn't have an effect. Whereas, I don't know. I think DC. I think you're right. They should just do like crazy, weird movies, and I don't think they needed to even make it a cinematic universe. Just make movies and make them good movies. Focus on that, because obviously that was the problem with like Justice League, is that it kind of felt like they rushed to it, and I know timeline-wise they didn't. It's the same amount of movies before Marvel got to Avengers and whatnot, but still, you gotta just make some good characters, make some good movies first.
I think like with DC too, like just do like your one-offs, and then if Disney does own both of them, like it'd be really cool to see like do a one-off, just non-canon fight of
cross.
DC.
Yeah.
Do like you can.
They do that in the comics. Sometimes they've crossed over.
Yeah,
DC
and like I think it opens that opportunity to have those just like non-canon movies of just like the whole cast just like going up against each other. But then with the rest of the universe, you're like, nah.
Yeah.
And that didn't actually happen, but
they also
like
did
a fun thing.
They did a big crossover once where it was a multi-universe combined things, and like Wolverine and Batman combined to become the Dark Claw. and then Sabretooth and Joker combine to become the hyena.
That's literally the most OP combination of heroes.
There's a
Superman
comic
and
you can read.
Batman.
Who combines
He
with
can no
Slingshot?
longer die.
What?
Who combines with Slingshot? Or what's his
Slipknot.
name?
You know
Slipknot. I just always picture him with a slingshot.
Slipknot didn't make it into
He
that.
doesn't even use the slingshot. Come on.
I don't
He's a
remember
grappling
what that
hook.
was.
Anything else on that one?
I think that for me, depending on how Disney handles a first, like, one of their movies that isn't Star Wars or Marvel.
So Predator.
Yeah.
Fred.
Yeah.
That's
well,
what Taylor's waiting for. What
along
they do
with
with my
Predator.
Along one of those lines, you know, like Alien or Predator, just something kind of that's really
Home Alone.
different. Home Alone, yes. Something very different that isn't what we have an abundance of right now. I think that would set up the pace to see, like, okay, what are they gonna do with something that's completely different? Yes, it's a superhero. Jesus Christ, that was weird. Yes, it's a superhero movie, but at the same time,
Taylor glitched
it's
out.
it's programming.
Didn't do it for me.
I spilled water on him.
He heard the Logan keyword. Didn't do it for me.
But yeah, I think it's just it'll be a good experimentation to see what they do with Predator 7 or whatever.
It's gonna be huge.
12.
I do think even with the Warner Brothers,
No, come on.
with the Warner Brothers thing with all those movies, which I think Warner Brothers owns a bit of Lord of the Rings, so that's kind of scary. Like a bit of, like they have a film
They own
stake in it. They're gonna share the logo with Disney,
They
but
own 2
Ew.
seasons.
I would think Disney would want the fuck out of Harry Potter, and they would want to take that
fuck
off.
yeah.
Like they would,
Reboot it.
yeah,
Wow.
with
I'm
Tom
down.
Holland.
Tom Holland.
Also in the DC world, this is a few weeks old, but we haven't done a newscast. Joss Whedon no longer directing Batgirl, and the rumor is no longer. Yeah, he was directing it. He directed the Avengers. He kind of half directed Justice League. Who knows? We don't know. So he's directing Batgirl, and the rumor is that they want to go after female talent for female movies.
He also didn't have a story.
Right, that's what he said. He said after months of working on a script, he didn't have a story, and they're mutually parting ways. AKA, just something happened. I don't know whether it's they won the female directors, whether he doesn't want to work in the system, or you know what? Maybe he just didn't have a story. I just don't buy that as the guy that wrote Angel, or well, he had a hand in Angel, but Serenity, Buffy. He did maybe the greatest superhero movie of all time. I thought he did a decent sequel. Like, he's a talented guy, and I just didn't think that he could not find a story, so I caught
Yeah,
him
no,
off guard.
that's definite bullshit. Like,
I
there's
think
no,
so.
because he would never obviously sign on to the movie if he didn't at least have like a few ideas of pathways to go, and it's pretty clear that like they just whatever idea he had, they like didn't or they were trying to push him into doing something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He probably had like 3 or 4 ideas that they shut down. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here."
Yeah, and the thing that worries me the most that's tied to the story, I hate the rumor of they want females for female-directed things. I think if that's the reason he got kicked off, I hate it because to me that still just feels like it's Warner Brothers like thinking like cool and hip. I don't want female for female stuff. I just want the best director, whether that's Joss Whedon.
Exactly.
If this next Superman movie is directed by a female, that's great because does that mean then should we just have the males direct like Superman and Batman?
No,
Like
yeah, it's stupid.
whoever has the best story.
Exactly.
And I get it because Batgirl with Wonder Woman, there's a lot of hype because of female direct that. So I can see why they wanted that. But then do a reverse, announce a woman for a man project. You know, there's a Superman sequel just sitting there waiting. I'm sure there's lots of talented female. And that was the best thing that like lots of female writers tweet like, I have a story, and like there's many like I feel like it's just such a like I said, trying to be hit with the times, like, oh yeah, we got it, but it's not at the same time, and it sucks. I really like Joss Whedon. I don't blame him for Justice League. I don't blame anybody because that's just some hodgepodge of something that happened. I would love to see his Batgirl. He does a good. I like what he did with Black Widow with the Avengers. I love Buffy. Buffy's phenomenal. So he does a great job with female characters. But yeah, so be exciting to see who directs it. The other rumor is that Batgirl and Nightwing are on the back burner because DC is just focusing on their main heroes, so Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So they're kind of retooling in a time where I guess I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe
they're gonna on their 5th toolbox. I don't know, but so yeah, that's what's happening. So who knows when we ever see Batgirl? But
yeah. I think you're right. They're just trying to be hip, and I mean as well. They're just trying to ride
Steve
off like the
Buscemi
only thing they've made that was like super successful. You know, with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So I kind of missed what you
I said like the Steve Buscemi meme. Like that's what I think Warner Brothers are like. Hey kids, like fellow youngsters.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think it is. You know.
Taylor knew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it's just like, if they're trying to be hit, I think it's just so unnecessary, and it's just so dumb for people to be like, oh yeah, we need a female for a female movie.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
should be whoever comes in and
best
pitches the
idea.
best story.
It doesn't
yeah.
matter if they're a freaking potato, you know, like.
Wow.
If they
It's
plug a
just
potato in a computer and it
Mr.
spits out
Potato
a
Head,
script.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Potato Head directing Batgirl.
Yeah, like it's
Has
just.
potential.
By the end of the day, it's whoever's the best idea.
Yeah.
And if they don't see it like that, I think it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I would love to know what's going on over there.
I'm super curious as to what happened with this whole situation.
Oh yeah.
It
Whenever
feels like they had like a really good opportunity in their hands with him, you know, making a movie for them, but
Oh yeah. There needs to be a documentary of
Passed
when BVS released and then up until this point. Because ever since then, it's been like... And we haven't talked about DC in a while because honestly, I was just so tired about talking about them. Because every week it was like this and this. Like, happy that there's some new news about them. But it's still
Oh yeah.
same old... It's still always like, oh, Trouble in Paradise.
well, it's not the greatest news either. It's like, hey, we might give up and so.
yeah.
Might give up.
Poor guys.
They're on the ledge.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Hitting some lengths today. Hitting some heights, you could say.
Some what?
Heights,
Heights.
of the ledge.
Taylor, what do you think about this?
Disney will catch them.
What do I think?
Yeah, they're just there's net made of dollar bills.
Exactly. You just jump into Disney's arms.
I hope one day we have a dollar bill that has Mickey Mouse's face on
Oh,
it. You
I'm
know?
sure we will. Like when
Yeah.
when we
Like-
become Disney World.
Yeah, but like a real one, like not like you can token one, but yeah. What do you feel about this?
All money is just a token.
You know,
Life is a token.
Life's a token.
they're going through so much transition and change. Like it's just hard to really keep up. You know, I mean, I want to know.
It is actually really hard to keep up.
Like I so badly want to know and see the perspective of all the fuckboys, the DC fuckboys.
Oh,
out there.
no, here we
Getting
go.
triggered again. Don't get them started.
I want to see. You brought up documentary. That's how I feel like I can actually put this into words because you made good sense. I want to see a documentary this time, but I want to see it composed of all these DC fan fuckboys. That
I'll
are
make sure
just-
to bring them up in the meeting we have
Please
in the
do.
future. Yeah.
So I want to see what they're going on literally right now at this point as all this drama is going on with Joss
I think
Whedon.
they're really
Because-
sad. I really do. I think it's at past the point where they're like they care, but it's just like they're yelling and no one's even listening anymore because it's like Justice League happened and Black Panther, it opened to double what Justice League did, like opening weekend. Like when that happens, there's nothing. There's
It is
nothing
pretty
left.
sad.
It's just like I just picture they look like Gollum. Ever since PBS released, like that was Schmeagol, and then like
Schmeagol.
alright, we
Schmeagol,
yeah. That was Smeagol, and then like slowly they're deteriorating. Like you see that opening of Return of the King, and now they're just Gollum falling in the lava looking for their ring. And
But you know the thing is, Gollum never dies. He's like hundreds of years old. He's just big chillin'.
but
So.
I think they're in the
He's
lava
big
now.
chillin'.
Oh, they're in the lava.
Well, no, I won't say that. They're in the lava when they sell, I guess. But they're dancing around with the ring about to fall.
But there's gonna be many years of them as the decrepit little
Eating
Gollum.
I'm trying to
fish,
chew
just
off Frodo's finger
spewing
right
out
now.
shit.
Tasty,
You don't think that's
tasty.
what they're going through right now?
They just keep
Yeah, I
getting
think it
slipped
is
off
the
back.
him in the he's in the cave like looking out. Like, yeah, I will say he hasn't fallen in the lava yet. He hasn't met Frodo yet.
I
Love this metaphor.
definitely, it's perspective I want to seek because, we got Avengers Infinity War is just around the corner. Black Panther literally
Moved
just
up a
came
week.
out. Yeah, moved
around
up.
the other corner.
It moved up. Like,
Yeah.
this is just back to back,
Oh,
like,
I said that.
a glorious time to be alive as a Marvel fan.
And you got Ant-Man the Wasp still.
Yeah,
this year.
they're dropping these Marvel movies like no tomorrow. And I mean, what do we got? We got like a restructuring program. I mean,
We got
It's
Aquaman
just-
in December. Aquaman. in
Aquaman,
December.
good
That's a
for
long
them.
way away.
That's-
And it's probably gonna get pushed back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's always Star Wars that they have to
Not this
compete
year.
with.
Not in
this-
December. No.
Oh,
Solo's
right,
coming
right.
out May.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember? Yeah. That's
So-
why they chose that slot.
That's why they chose the slots.
Who wants to go? Who wants to watch a movie about being in the water during winter?
DC's got
All the
pick their
water's
moments.
frozen. There's nothing to watch.
It's just.
So, yeah.
It's actually about his people during the Ice Age.
Oh,
Wow. The oceans are
Fighting
frozen.
woolly mammoths and yeah.
It's
I'm
just
down.
2 hours of
I'm
them
down
just
with
in the ice.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, gentlemen, on this sweet thing? Nope.
No.
So this is where we're going right now. They are their production for Wonder Woman 2 is supposed to start in the summer, so they're casting one of their villains. Cheetah is one of Wonder Woman's main villains. There's a rumor that Emma Stone turned it down, so there's that. And now the biggest rumor of, I don't know if she'll be the main villain or one of the villains, but Kristen Wigg is the supposed frontrunner to play this villain. What do you think about that? Because obviously very comedic actress. making a big jump over to a huge. It's good that
Yeah.
DC may have a lot of problems. Wonder Woman's not one of them. People are going to be really anticipating that movie. I think that one is fine. They don't got to worry about it. But Kristen Wigg as Cheetah, aka the Wonder Woman villain.
That's interesting because obviously Wonder Woman, the villain in that movie, that's kind of like a more serious tone. There is some, joke and some, I don't know, some less serious moments throughout that movie, but the villain always seemed like something that was meant to be taken, quite seriously. So that's different. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I like it or I don't know if I dislike it. I like Kristen Wiig enough.
Yeah.
But it's just a different vibe. I feel like we haven't really seen that in comic book movies a whole lot that I can think of in recent memory where your main villain's like, I mean, maybe it's not a super comedic role. Maybe there's just like a few comedic lines.
This guy bothering you?
Everyone go watch Iron Man 3. The only one I'd really jump out is, I don't think you've even seen the movie, but is when Jim Carrey played the Riddler.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
That's what really jumps out, but I really don't want that for Wonder Woman, because he's super comedic in that movie. He's not dramatic. He's like,
I love that
he
movie.
literally at one point yells out joy-gasm. It's quite a performance.
Oh, I love that movie. It is
I want to see
so
that,
entertaining.
Yeah, DC Retro maybe one day.
I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, I honestly don't. I feel like I don't have a whole lot to say because I don't know where I feel personally. It's different than the first movie. I thought they would kind of go with something more.
Emma Stone makes sense.
Yeah.
Dramatic actress, Oscar actress.
I can see that.
Going from Emma Stone to Kristen Wiig though, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
That's not a very linear pathway.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was gonna bring that up. It feels like completely different piles of
actress.
Joy.
Joy-gasm.
Joy-gasm. Yeah.
Yeah, DC's just going everywhere.
Is
I mean, I'm
Everywhere
glad
but
they're.
up.
I mean,
to the side.
yeah, I don't know what to say, but
They're
they're trying to do things. And
Yeah,
that's what
they
I
are.
want.
Fuck
They're
yeah.
making movies.
Emma Stone. Nope. Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
They just threw-
As long as they keep making movies, I'm happy.
yeah, you're right. You just
Like,
said that. Yeah.
the day DC just can't make a movie anymore because they
That'll be
just
a
like
sad day.
financially are unable to do
It
it.
happened at Batman and Robin.
I'll be real sad.
Yeah.
And
Sad
then
times.
Marvel will buy them. Or
Not
Disney.
even Disney, just Marvel.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige himself will buy Disney and make them as
He
independent.
probably has enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very weird variable to deal with of like Kristen Wiig as it's just like it's hard to see.
Can it not
right
be
now, right?
funny? Like, even if she's
Yeah.
acting dramatic, when
I
you
know.
see her, because cheetah,
She's
for people that
hilarious.
don't know, is literally she's a human cheetah. She turns into a cheetah. So, I just feel like that could.
I feel
Wait, what do you mean by that? She
She's-
turns into like a four-legged.
No, she's
or
a woman that's cheetah.
Looks like a cheetah.
Yeah.
So she doesn't turn into a cheetah.
So she's a
The
woman.
cheetah turns into her.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But yeah, like I don't know. It's so hard for me to like say much about it because it's just so unknown and like I'm trying to picture what it would look like. And like I'm trying to picture it like the whole movie being serious with her in it and I just can't.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there have to be like some comedic points in it and I feel like it would just take away from a serious villain role.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman has some comedy in it, but it's not. I don't think
She's not
it's too
super
comedic.
quippy, though.
No.
No,
I
I
don't
think-
get comedy vibes from the first
Oh
one.
yeah, and then like what Dylan said, like there's some comedy in it, but like never really from the villain.
Yeah.
And I felt like it didn't have the biggest villain in that movie, but like I still felt
passable.
Yeah, exactly. But like this, I feel like you get entertainment out of it, but like it might hurt the movie. But
Yep.
it's so hard for me to say because I just can't picture it right
When
now.
does this
And then like
Wonder
you said,
Woman
the
movie
transition,
take
Emma
place?
Stone to Kristen
Yeah.
Wiig.
The rumor is the 80s. That's the rumor.
So okay, so it's not present.
no,
It's kind of-
no, which I don't like, but
Let's go to the 70s. I like the 70s.
It's weird.
60s.
Great music.
I can see it being a little.
I think the 80s is the idea like World War II, maybe. So
World War II.
that was not in the 80s, was it?
Like
No,
Cold
no,
War.
Vietnam War.
Cold
Vietnam
War.
War was right.
It's like that's.
I think that was.
I mean,
I don't fucking
I think
know.
Cold War was the
I know
80s.
nothing.
I wasn't great at
Cold War
history.
is 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accurate.
It's
a lot
very
of things
late.
going on in those times.
Yeah, World War
A lot of
II.
war, a lot of war.
Yeah.
Wow.
Taylor, you're a positive guy. You're really positive about a lot of stuff. I'm not positive about history, but are you positive about Kristen Wiig playing Cheetah?
I don't like her as an actress.
Doesn't do it for
The
you.
first words out of his
Straight
mouth.
up.
Taylor rarely says that too.
I don't like her as a
At least she
person.
didn't say I don't like her as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That would've been
I'm sure she's a very nice person, but as an actress, she does
No,
the
she's
same.
actually really mean.
Is she really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. She hit you.
Wow. I don't know.
She plays
go
the
on.
same character in all of her movies. You know, at one point, maybe
I'll disagree.
she hit a point where I maybe kind
Maybe
of
that's pretty good for
liked
her career. She'll play a cheetah. She never played a cheetah before.
She doesn't have to.
Honestly,
Oh,
she
okay.
probably did on SNL at some point.
Yeah.
You know, did I enjoy her Bridesmaids? I definitely think, you know, Bridesmaids was definitely a good point for her. I think it's the highest point she's gonna get.
Oh.
I'm
She's
sorry.
so young. She's like 20.
So much savage.
That's,
Oh my
34.
goodness.
That's
I don't
what
know, like
actress.
she hasn't brought much to the table. I'm sorry, you know. I love Ghostbusters, and I tried to like this Ghostbusters.
Have you ever seen any of her SNL stuff?
SNL?
She was not good on SNL.
Really?
I
Like
thought she
her?
was okay.
I hated her on SNL. That's where
Fair
I feel Taylor. I think she played the same thing. She always played this kooky, annoying character. In her movies, I don't think she does. She did Bridesmaids. I think she's a different character in Ghostbusters, even though that movie's not good. She's a different character
Who
in
did
Mother.
that movie, by the way?
She is in Mother.
Okay.
Where?
She's the reporter at the end of the
I don't
movie.
even
She's in
remember
it for
that.
a while. Yeah. With
And what's
Oh,
her-
I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, Mother.
Oh.
She's in that, and I've never seen it, but there's a dramatic movie with her and Bill Hader where they play twins. It's called Skeleton Twins or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm fucking tired.
That sounds cool.
But Skeleton something, Skeleton Key. No, that's a horror movie, I think. I don't know. There's a movie where she plays twins with Bill Hader, and it's dramatic. The thing is, there's Robin Williams. There is what else is there?
There's Jim Carrey.
Uh,
I don't know where you're
Okay,
going
Ben
with this.
Stiller, Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey, not in the Batman movies. There's many comedic actors and actresses that can make the jump. So
Yeah.
I am interested from that point of view of can she make the jump over?
Jim Carrey's a great example for that. You know?
Not in
Skeleton
Batman, I
Twins.
meant. I said
Skeleton
not
Twins.
not with that movie.
No.
He's done it in other movies.
Yes.
But I think any comedic actress or actor can make the jump. I don't know if she can pull
I
off
don't know
this
if
one.
she has the strength.
87%?
Yeah, I don't know if the Skeleton Twins. Okay, I was right the first time.
87% or not.
Yeah, and it's a dramatic movie, so I hear it's good. So I want to give her the faith, and I want to give her
Give her the
the
faith.
chance.
Give her the faith.
Give her that
She
faith.
deserves it.
Give her the faith.
If she wants it, give it to her.
But I just don't. Some of the casting, we won't know until we see that first trailer.
Yeah.
If she does get cast, it's gonna be Jared Leto over again, and
Yeah,
everyone.
that actually could be Jared
Yeah.
Leto.
And everyone wants to bring up Marvel's fucking villain problem. One, I don't think right now they have one right now, especially everyone's talking about Killmonger. But two, they've been trying to fix it. DC, other than Zod, what do you got? You got Lex Luthor. You got Enchantress. You got
Doomsday.
Doomsday. You got Hunka damaged Joker. And then you had Steppenwolf. It's the same. No one talks about it, but DC just has just as much as a villain
Yeah,
problem.
that's true.
And I don't know if Kristen Wigg as she
He's
does
the one to turn it around.
yeah, I don't know if that's the one. Maybe it's I'm notorious. I did not think Heath Ledger was going to do a great Joker, and he blew out of the water. This could be her moment. This could be the one like, wow, she really brought it. She can be a dramatic actress. I hope when we talk about, oh, that could be entertainment. If she's in this role, I don't want her to be entertaining. I don't want it. I want her to be very sad. I want it to be depressing. This woman turns into a cheetah. Like, I want it to be Shakespearean. I don't want comedic
It
Wonder
could change
Woman.
her mantra as an actress.
It could. That could be the thing that springboards her, or it is the like, oh, like that really didn't work out, and let's not do that again. So.
Maybe we just don't talk about
Do
it.
you feel like DC they were really pushing against the wall here because all the good actresses are already taken by Marvel?
No,
That's
there's
very
phenomenal.
unfair to
No,
say.
I think there's phenomenal actors out there that we don't even know the name of. You could
Yeah.
screen test. I think this is them trying to get a name.
Michael Fassbender's wife. She could be in that.
Alicia Vikander, yeah.
Ana Armas, Blade Runner. Get her in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So why do you think they didn't target like some of these awesome actresses, and why did they? Why
Well,
did
there's
they?
a-
Okay,
there's
first of
1,000
all, it's just your
variables.
opinion that Kristen Wiig is not an awesome actress.
Yeah.
You're making it sound like she's Tommy Wiseau. She's not. She has a talent.
Well, one thing is the
Just the
name. You know,
female
people
Tommy.
know that name,
Yeah.
and that's gonna. Like, I feel like that would actually motivate my mom to go see Wonder Woman too.
Yeah.
She loves Kristen Wiig, and you know, it's a.
That's very true.
And we
Like,
don't.
That's very
Do
true.
you think though that with the name though, then it comes with the idea that let's say like your mom, if she hears the name, then she kind of gets the idea that it'll be a humorous kind of film to like tie to other movies.
Definitely.
Done.
Yeah, it could be
Maybe.
a big disaster.
Or it's the reverse where people think.
I think it's more likely that this turns out really bad than it does good.
Yeah.
It's a very
But-
bold play.
Or it's the reverse where
it's
people
very
are
bold.
curious to go see it because they know, oh, if they've seen Wonder Woman 1 and she's in this, they go, oh, she's not going to be doing that. She's doing something different. I think I would like to have faith that, I don't know how they do it, whether they talk to her, whether she auditioned, screen tested, that I'd like to have faith that something about her screams, oh, she could be a good fit. I don't think her doing one of her SNL characters.
Someone's just like,
yeah,
I
like,
think we could fit this into one.
yeah,
Yeah,
so.
you know, I'm a nice guy. I will go in with faith with you.
faith.
I'll give her all my faith.
Yeah.
I like
She
Kristen
just-
Wigg, so I
Yeah.
just
Honestly,
don't
I'm
think it's a
excited
great
for this.
fit for
I'm excited to
Wonder
see how
Woman
it does.
1.
Whether it's well or poorly, I'm
Exactly.
excited.
You know who we
It'll
don't
be
got?
interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
You know who we don't got to put a lot of faith in? Marvel, because they're just making fucking movies out the yin yang. They announced 7 new
Black Panther
movies. Yeah, that's my prediction. They're all Black Panther movies. I'll give you the quick rundown of just the dates. July 31st, 2020, May 7th, 2021, July 30th, 2021, November 2021,
Oh.
February 18th, 2022, May 6th, 2022, and July 29th, 2022. So, obviously 3 films a year. I would take out that the 2020, I think Spider-Man will be in that year, but
Yeah.
that's not one of those because that would be a Sony movie technically, so that 2020 movie is not Spider-Man, so
I honestly can see like a trilogy Black Panther.
I see
For
And what
sure.
about Captain
Like-
Marvel? Where
Cap-
does that fit into this mix?
that would be before this, but that could be a Captain Marvel too. Captain
Mm.
Marvel's come out 2019. So I
Yeah.
think that 2020, I hate when we're going to get these 2022.
Yeah.
But 2022, one of those years, that's 3 years after, right? Because
that's
2021,
quite an amount
yeah.
of time, yeah.
Like, I think all those for the most part, I don't think any of these are the, X-Men or Fantastic Four. I think it's
no.
D Strange 2, Black Panther 2,
Black Widow.
Guardians, Black Widow I think is 1, Guardians 3.
Do you actually think Black Widow is going to be one of these?
I do, I really
Yeah.
do right now. Captain Marvel 2, so that's 5. So then there's 2 more. I'm just trying to think what other
A trilogy. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, Ant-Man
Black
3,
Panther,
Ant-Man 3,
4.
and Thor 4, because I think they keep hinting that because Hemsworth's like my contract's done, but I think with Ragnarok they know they have something new. Like everyone
I'm
really
just-
liked that.
What I'm curious of is Thor the first character to go past the trilogy? Because I think I would say
Yeah.
obviously Ragnarok was a success, but the first 2 movies I don't know, they weren't huge successes. I don't
They're
think.
all money wise they were, yeah.
Money wise, but I
And
think
critically, they're still reviewed like positively. None of them were like the first one more. So the second one's their
Yeah.
lowest rated movie, but it's still like a 65 or somewhere around the middle. So like
Right.
it still is a general like, oh yeah, it's a fine.
I just think like people like obviously I really like Ragnarok, and if it was the same director and whatnot,
I think so, yeah.
that'd be cool. I'm
Oh, yeah.
down with that, but
I think they'll go past 4 because Ragnarok feels so disconnected to those 2 that doesn't even feel like a trilogy. Like that's why I think
it is a pretty incohesive trilogy. I mean, the first is just like I feel like it's a very average comic book movie, and the second one is just a flaming pile of
The
garbage.
second one,
You like the first
or
one
not
a
the
lot?
first one's phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I always
underrated
thought
movie.
it's similar to like the first Captain America, where it's like I didn't care about it that much, but at
Yeah.
the same time you kind of learn a little bit of his.
It's a good origin story.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
Hemsworth has gotten a lot better at.
Oh, and I
playing
feel
the
like he'll
character.
totally be down to go past like
Yeah.
into the 4.
If he survives Infinity War.
And it,
What do you think about
it feels very fresh too because like at the start of the third one they pretty much just kill off all the ties to the first 2
Yeah.
movies.
We still got
It's quite interesting in some ways.
we still got Lady Sif somewhere out there, so we gotta solve
Yeah,
that
she's
problem.
out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Isn't she? What do you think Iron Man 4 is a possibility?
I hope so.
I want it. I really do.
I still haven't seen the 3rd. Not gonna lie.
But you should. You'll
Yeah.
get those Osh Killing jokes. The only reason why I'm not for 4 is because I was really excited after Civil War when he talked about not being with Pepper and all this stuff. And then at Homecoming, they just kind of answered all that stuff really quickly. So a lot of the intrigue for me was gone. But I do want it because I think Downey, it sounds so bad because he gets paid $50 million a movie, but I think he's owed. I want to see one more with him as a full star, but maybe he doesn't even want that. Maybe that's kind of the deal they have, right? Of like, you'll be fully in Avengers and you'll make these cameos here and there, and maybe he's like, yeah, I don't want to do like a full-on one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think there's still more to explore with that character. So much has
Definitely,
changed
Yeah.
in his life. If he survives Infinity War, then yeah, I think at least one more, and maybe one, because Iron Man 2 and 3, people look at it and they're like, they either like or they think ho-hums, like they think,
Yeah.
so I think it'd be great if he got another Black Panther, Captain America, Civil War, Guardians, like a movie where he's talked about again as like, oh, is this the best film in the MCU?
Mhm.
He hasn't had that talked about probably since Avengers came out,
True.
you know,
Mhm.
so. Yeah.
And you don't think there's any Hawkeye movies in there?
I think Hawkeye's dead, so no. Hawkeye's for sure dying in Infinity War. He's gone.
What about his
Your
family though?
No, they gotta be at the funeral. You know, they'll
Okay.
maybe that's how Black Widow starts, is with Hawkeye's funeral, and then she's
That'd be pretty good.
yeah.
Is that a Travis told you prediction or?
No, I'm not too confident. I
Like,
think Black Widow
that
could be a
requires
fucking-
like 3 or 4.
That's a
things
Travis
to be lined
mentioned.
up.
Yeah, because Black Widow
Mentioned
could
it
still
to
just
you.
be a prequel. and-
Travis hinted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Travis hinted.
But yeah, I legitimately think all those are sequels, and then yeah, Black Widow, and then maybe they've talked about doing like an all-female Avengers, but I don't know if that's in the cards. But I kind of hope that
That'd be
happens. Like, it's why not? So
Pretty
yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Any
Yeah,
other
yeah,
long ball
the
guesses you want to throw out
space
there?
I want to see a Scarlet Witch movie.
I don't think that's gonna happen. So
Probably
Scarlet
not.
Witch and the Vision.
I would totally be down, legit.
Yeah.
Speaking
Imagine
of,
like Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange just going off
Oh,
doing
man.
some
Oh my
mage
god.
wizard.
I think you're gonna. Oh yeah.
I started a
Infinity
school
War.
of witchcraft and wizardry.
Dude, that sounds so familiar.
Marvel's very own Harry
Star
Potter.
Wars.
Yeah, we're not buying it. We're just gonna remake it. Who plays their Hagrid?
It'd be like Hogrid. They'd
No, but I
actually-
mean like which character fills that role of Hagrid?
It's got to be.
Eric Selvig, the scientist guy. Remember?
Oh,
He loses his
yeah.
mind.
Hmm.
It's not a bad one.
I feel like there's a really good answer to that question, but I don't have it.
Bucky's for sure Snape.
yet.
Anyway, speaking of Marvel, Fox is not stopping making Marvel movies because technically in a year this deal could not go through because they got to go through the law and everything like that. It might not go through and then they're just back at
Due
square one.
diligence.
So their plan is right now they're going to start releasing, which the plan was this year, but New Mutants got bumped, 3 X-Men movies a year, and then they're also making a Silver Surfer movie.
Wow. That's
My
exciting.
boy, Silver Surfer. I
Yeah,
love that character.
it's tough for me to feel what is happening because I just if they've got bought, I almost just do want them to stop because I feel like the more they make these X-Men movies, either more I'll feel torn or the more I'll get
It's gonna
a,
be inconsequential.
people will be like, yeah.
I feel like the quality will be low, right? If they're just pumping them out. left,
I
right,
don't
center.
know. They pumped out Deadpool. They pumped out Logan. Deadpool
Yeah.
2's out in 2 months. So if Deadpool 2's good, they're
They're
pumping
big
out.
pumping it right now.
I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah. Film those
I guess
slots.
I didn't give them credit for
It's
the
almost
pumping
like,
skills.
Well, you missed your chance to really give us a chance, you know? We're under
What?
new ownership.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, what?
Say that in a different way.
Say
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm not baffled.
Say that
I'm
in
not quite
French.
following you.
Pecan. I think I would say they're dishing out these good movies almost in a sense like, okay, you know, we had this all along. You know, we could have given you, if you guys gave us a chance in the beginning, would have got to this point. But now you guys won't get this theme for much longer once this is done because we're sold. This is the last you're getting. So this is our.
Do they? I feel
goodbye.
like you're making that sound like they'd be the winner in that situation, but I feel like they're just.
They're ending
losers.
on a high note, you know, because
Okay,
they're
they're
saying
okay,
the fans
that's
aren't
fair.
going to get this content again. It's going to be Marvelized and Disney.
Marvelized.
I guess-
Yes, that's a great
With
term.
this X-Men, like the thing is for me, I don't want them to end up being like, oh, and then we're recasting Wolverine. And same thing with Silver Surfer. I don't actually want to see those things until we get to Marvel and the MCU. Like, I want to see Silver Surfer, but wait till he's in that. You know, like, I'm fine with Deadpool sequels and those characters, and even the current X-Men we have, but I don't want new stuff now if it's going nowhere. I want Multiple Men and all the stuff in Doctor Doom movie. It's like, okay, they're not going where these are the movies, but if they are going to go to the MCU and be part of this continuity, I don't need a Doctor Doom movie, and then in 3 years, let's recast them and then, like, just do it all over
Yeah,
again. You
yeah.
know, like, that's my holdup is, great, you can make these movies, but I kind of, I don't know. But it is tough, right? Because if the deal didn't go through and you weren't making these movies, then it's like, oh, well, we've been doing nothing for 3 years with these movies that could make us lots of money, right? Because it does happen if there's one thing that doesn't match
And that's
up.
pretty bold to just say, you know, we're dropping 3 movies plus. So, like, that's
It
a lot
is,
of announcements, really, for
Yeah.
the kind of situation that's going on.
They were going to do it this year, though. They're going to have Deadpool, X-Men, and then New Mutants. So they were close. So they're...
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was kind of before. I mean, obviously they've
Yeah, it was
had
before,
inklings
yeah.
of, you know, what's going to happen in the long run, but still that was before, you know, the announcements.
Yeah,
of,
true.
That being sold.
Well, why do you think they're really taking a huge change? Just because they know they have to go a different way opposed to like Disney and Marvel, with the sense like they got Venom and now they're doing another supervillain movie. And there are talks about Doctor Doom, obviously. So it seems that they're really taking a different kind of approach.
Well, I think that's why. I think even before Disney was going to buy them, you look at Logan Deadpool, I think that's the only way they thought they could compete is let's start doing things differently. You know?
Well, I mean, if you look at DC and how they kind of tried to replicate what Marvel had done, you know, by building like a universe. So instead, just fuck that. Let's just make some off-the-wall movies.
Yeah,
Well, they
something
tried
different.
like Suicide Squad.
A 10 out of 10 movie, according to Taylor.
Yeah, what do they tried? They knocked it out of the park, according to you.
Yeah, legit.
No issues.
They tried.
whatsoever.
And they succeeded.
Slipknot is a wonderfully developed character.
I actually listened back to that ending of that review because I know you were talking about it at some point, and you were like, "I'm not gonna give it a 10." Then you start counting, like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a 10." And it's just ridiculous.
Will Smith.
Anything else on Marvel movies?
I'm interested in a Silver Surfer movie. I mean,
Me too,
I would like it
for
to
sure.
be, you know, have like maybe some ties to some of the other characters. We could see
Yeah.
some cool fights or something. But that's always a character that I've been really interested in because he just seems like super OP, but also pretty interesting. And I honestly
Very
don't really
interesting, yeah.
know much about him, so.
Mhm.
I've always just kind of thought he looked really cool and was really strong. So I would love to see that
Yeah.
been done well. And actually, I haven't seen the Fantastic Four movie with.
We're gonna
Yeah,
watch it
so-
one day.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna watch it someday. So I
I
really would
don't
like.
know.
I would love to see a Silver Surfer movie.
I like that movie, and like they kind of touched. I mean, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I'm gonna.
You got that nostalgia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just here to tell
But,
you it's not a good movie.
I'm not here to ask.
That's serious.
Oh, that was
We
definitely
definitely-
casting
No.
Kirkland in your movie. That was
No,
a good
but
line read.
but like he just kind of touches on his backstory. It's very like minimalistic on like the information he gives you about like his homeworld and like his family and all that stuff. So it is very mysterious. So I agree with you. I'm very intrigued about that character because I don't know much about him and how he became so silver.
Very interesting.
Yeah. How does anyone
Um,
become that silver?
I want Marvel, or not Marvel, I guess, but the Fox to just throw out as many one-offs as you can.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because yeah, like I love comic books and superhero movies because they can do those one-offs. When you get into the comic books, you've got all these different storylines going on, all these different timelines, and none of it's really cohesive. They're all just kind of their own thing. And
They try. But
I think that's great, and I think Marvel has a good thing with their MCU going on, but I don't think everything needs to be all cohesive and together. I think that what's so wonderful about these things is that you can do pretty much anything you want with a comic book film, and it's great to just like take that freedom and just fire off these one-offs, and they don't need to be cohesive. They don't need to cross over. They can just be their own thing and do whatever you want with it. And I think that's great that Fox is trying to get out as many as they can before they get Marvelized.
Marvelized, that's
as
nice.
we said before.
Some Marvelized onions up in here.
Made that Mysterio movie.
Oh no.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
please.
I had a good transition. You know, it's kind of Marvelized because it's Disney, so it's Disneyfied.
Disneyfied.
Wreck-It Ralph 2. Did we ever watch these teaser, or are we gonna skip this one?
Nope.
I did not watch it.
I watched half of it with the volume off, so.
How do you watch half a teaser?
I
It's
saw
like less than a minute long.
the first
Yeah.
2 seconds, I think.
I really like the teaser. I really like the teaser. I'm interested to see.
I'm interested why you only watched 2 seconds.
like the
I mean, you're
ultimate
probably
teaser.
joking.
Hang on, just wait.
But still, I want to
Let
know
me
why
just
2
finish.
seconds.
I'm legit not lying. I think I saw it because it's like it shows like the Disney symbol, but it's all like explosions, right? That's what I saw.
I don't
it's like
know.
pixelated.
It's
Maybe I
Ralph
was
playing
dreaming.
mobile games. It looks like it could be some fun. In the trailer, there's lots of like timely humor. That's exactly what the first movie did with video games. It had jokes where it's like we've all made those jokes with each other about video games, so it felt like that with mobile apps
Video
and everything like
games.
that. I'm not sure what the actual story is going to be because this was just a teaser trailer, so I'll always be excited till I see the story, and we'll go until there. But yeah, I'm very excited about
I
Wreck-It
love
Ralph,
that
and
movie. It was so good.
I'm glad we watched
No,
those
Wreck-It-
trailers, you know.
I'm so glad we watched this trailer. I still haven't seen
First 2
the
seconds
original.
are phenomenal.
Last piece of news I have is Chris Hemsworth is possibly going to be leading the new Men in Black spin-off, which I think is
Oh.
gonna just be Men in Black rebooted, but I think they're gonna call it.
Reused.
I think I'm French, so I think they're just gonna call it something else so they can add a woman in there. To be honest, I think because they don't want to I just think the term Men in Black is
People in black.
a lot of things.
Not with the times.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of you'll see
People in
You'll see 10 BuzzFeed articles about like why Men in Black 4 is the most misogynist movie ever
Look
made.
at this
Yeah.
show, BuzzFeed.
It'll just be something, but I think that's great. So for some reason before this news last week, I've been rewatching the Men in Black movies. I just saw on Netflix. I'm like, this is a good go to sleep movie. First one's great.
Oh,
Second one
I love
is
the first one.
all right. The third one is Abomination. It's an awful movie except for Josh Brolin, who does a great K. And yeah, I'm always down for more Men in Black. You know, there's some weird people I see every once in a while, and I go, man, it reminds me of when the aliens are in the bodysuit. They're always twitching out. Like I'm like, yeah, I'd be down to see him. Yeah, I'd be down to see another. I'd be down to see another Men in Black, and I think Chris Hemsworth would actually be a really solid choice.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
If they want to reboot this franchise,
I really want to. I'm excited about that.
It's definitely a franchise that I'd
stuff.
like to be rebooted because I feel like it's pretty easy to be. Not pretty easy, but like I feel like it's easier than other franchises.
there's not as much baggage.
Exactly.
Just start over. They don't even need.
It
They
could be
don't.
fresh.
It could even be in the same timeline as Will Smith, but they don't gotta be like.
honestly.
Yeah, they don't even gotta explain.
Same place, same
do
time.
other things.
Same universe even.
Yeah, have
Whoa.
Jaden Smith in there.
Wow.
Everything's got to be.
I'm not for
It's
the
actually the MCU. Thor's undercover.
Well, Men in Black was a Marvel comic back in the day, so.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Back in the day.
Yeah, when they did like not just superheroes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Very.
That's pretty
You're
awesome.
here
Though.
first.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, you know, branching out.
Yeah.
What's he from again?
What?
Oh, Ghostbusters.
What?
Yes.
Ghostbusters.
Was he in Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
He was the best part, and I hate saying that because everyone's like, "Oh, the male was the best part of the female Ghostbusters," but he was. He was super funny. Taylor, Dylan, any thoughts on Men in Black? Ghost in the Shell? I don't know where that came from.
Men in Black, you know, there's
Late, folks.
I was actually watching a part of Men in Black 1 the other day, actually. Just when it really resonated with me because I was watching a documentary on conspiracies and stuff and everything.
Oh, fuck.
Men in Black are
So-
actually real.
So
This
I
is
just
amazing.
I thought
I'm trying to
Who
put this
shot
whole,
JFK?
I'm trying to put this whole night together when you're watching conspiracy movies and parts of one of the Men in Black movies.
Or
You're
did he
like,
pause?
I don't know what
Or
else.
did he pause like I gotta watch this scene from Men in Black?
Well, the story goes back to Ruben showed me this documentary, and then I went and I watched
What was
another
the
documentary.
documentary?
It was about flat Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was
Oh fuck!
okay.
Classic.
Oh god, is Rune a flat earther?
No. We just me and Ruben we're
We don't
open
judge.
to hearing different opinions.
Oh,
we
God.
enjoy seeing like all these.
But he
opinions
believes in the
and
hollow Earth theory, I bet.
You should ask him sometime.
I mean, it is hollow,
That,
right?
that's a long story.
But yeah, so I ended up watching another documentary on some
years long.
conspiracy alien stuff, and I thought, you know, there's a scene from Men in Black I want to check out. And it was when it really was really powerful, and it was when Will Smith
Triple really.
it was when Will
That's
Smith was
true.
sitting on the bench, and Kay was talking to him about like how, you know, humans just they don't want to know, they want to be you know, this and that. I fucking butchered it. Shit.
At least I respect that you just like laughed through it because I mean we all have those moments when we're trying to say a point but we can't find the end of it.
No. They just want to be this or that. I don't really know. Tommy, that's not the line.
This isn't good, guys.
It was along the lines of like, you know, they don't want to know, they just want to, you know, go to work, they want to sleep, they don't need
They want to be comfortable in their daily lives.
They want to be
I'm surprised you
Thank
took
you.
another shot at that line.
Good on you.
I would have
You
given
call
it
it out.
up.
Thank
I would
you,
100%
Kirkland.
give it up. Throw
So-
in the towel.
I watched that scene, you know, it set me up for thinking, you know, it reminded me of another scene from Men in Black 3. And it was just the dude who was just the last of his kind, who was just floating around with the toque and everything. He was just such a positive vibe. And just
Movie
that
fucking
scene
sucks.
leading up to Will Smith.
So bad. I can't laugh anymore.
Will Smith's dad in that scene, that actually makes me cry. I feel so terrible.
That's
about
so
that.
stupid.
No, it
It's
makes
so
me tear up. It's so
dumb.
powerful.
Oh god.
That dad moments in movies really hit me. I don't know why, but like that one was really.
Yes,
Not in Logan, it didn't.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna fucking spoil this. Guess what? In Men in Black, Kay and Jake, they just meet each other randomly. Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. He finds him. Oh, he could be good for the program. What does Men in Black 3 do? Oh man, Kay happened to be there when Will Smith's dad died, and his whole life he's been looking out for Will Smith.
Oh,
and then,
that's weird.
yeah, that's so fucking lame.
That's
I hate
so
shit
lame.
like that. It's so awful.
I don't even want to watch
And
that.
his dad is just some random Marine guy who's like sees aliens. Like,
He's
I'm
not a
gonna help.
random Marine. He's
Yeah,
like a Lieutenant General Colonel.
Either way, he sees aliens and
That's
he's just
not
like,
a
I'm gonna
real
help you
brain.
out, and he dies. It's
Maybe
so
it is, I don't know.
stupid.
He saves Kay's life.
Oh god, that movie. This and that.
Yikes.
That
Getting
being
heated
said,
I'm gonna stay
here.
on the
I'd be
first
down.
two.
Not gonna lie, not so Men in Black very well tonight.
I don't know when
I like the
Tyler's
first two.
socks have come off. Was ready. Anyway,
He is ready.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
Anything
I don't
else?
know.
Anything else we want to shout out?
I do have two things. So finally, there's some more light on the Halo TV series. Directed
Finally,
by
this
Steven Spielberg coming out in fall.
It's never gonna happen.
Steven Spielberg.
He's
No, this is
producing it. He's not
producing,
directing it. Don't
producing.
lie.
I wish he was directing.
Yeah.
This is the most
Maybe
like.
just threw his name on it, like Transformers.
This is the most light that we've had with this kind of project for a long time. You know, there's been so much fight over like the rights and creative control with this like movie, this and that. Over like the movie rights and all that sort of stuff, and the rights just seem to get lost in the mail at this point. So it's just so nice to see.
They don't have internet connections.
No, it's so nice to
Sister on the
finally see.
I never got those rights.
It's come down to, you know, we're getting something. I hope this actually solidifies and something comes out of it, because I love Halo Forward into Dawn. I think that's a great, you know, like small scale movie. Halo Nightfall, again, another awesome small scale movie. There's so much potential and so many stories that are great. So I hope something comes out of it.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think a
know.
lot of people would, I think.
I just don't.
There's a lot of Halo fans.
I'm not saying that. I just think it should have been a movie. It's too late to be a movie, and as a TV series, they won't get the budget they need, and it could look really cheap. That's my worry, and I think they should have a movie, but I don't think. I think you put the Halo movie on now, people are like, I don't care that much.
Maybe,
of Halo
maybe
anymore.
Disney buys them.
Disney buys Xbox.
Buys
guys.
Microsoft.
Yeah, that's what I
I'd be
mean.
into that.
The Diz box.
This was, yeah.
This box.
And what was your second piece of?
My second piece of news, and this one I am so mad. Oh my god.
Oh,
So,
shit.
when I was little, one of my favorite shows was
Backstory.
Reboot, okay? Reboot
Oh,
was
dude, I love-
fantastic.
Yeah, where are
That
you
shit
going with
was
this? 'Cause this is
lit.
good.
Was that like
Reboot was
really old
amazing.
CGI?
Oh, yeah.
And then they did a
Really
fucking
good.
time jump in the middle of the show where the little kid was like a badass and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I
That
never
show's
understood
legit.
that. I just thought
Reboot
they were
is
two different
classic.
characters.
Oh no, they
Oh.
do a time jump and then like who's the main guy with the weird hair? Whatever.
Jacob.
I don't know why, but
I
this
know
show,
exactly.
thinking about the
Yeah,
show
he's-
reminds me of
buffy,
those
like,
dreams where you want to try and do something, but you're moving too slowly to be able to do it. I feel like that embodies what this show is for me. I don't know why.
What's the news?
Okay, well the news is that it's actually being rebooted. It's called Reboot the Guardian Code.
Okay, well
And
what's the bad
it's
news?
a TV series, and it's a live action mixed with CG.
Okay.
And just, looking at the comments really sold it for me, seeing the comments, but it looks absolutely horrifying. I'm
Well,
not
there's
excited.
trailers?
There's a trailer for it.
Oh,
I'm
God.
not excited for this
Like,
at
it looks
all.
bad.
We're gonna watch it on mute.
The CGI, you know, it reaches a certain point where, okay,
What's it called?
but
Reboot Guardians?
I
Yeah,
would
the
love to
Guardian
see them
Code.
do like that old school,
I
like
would
really
too.
bad CGI, but like actually
It
decent.
had a very distinct style.
Yeah.
And, like it still stands out in my head. Like,
But, like,
what that show looked
With
like.
everything we have now, like I feel like you could do that style, but like have it be better.
Oh, it's really
Yeah.
cheaply made.
it is cheaply made. Like, it
Oh,
it
yeah.
irks me on so many levels. I mean, this isn't the reboot that I remember. This is something totally
Oh,
different.
God.
And they're playing as the reboot characters, too.
Oh, God. Yeah, this looks awful.
Like, it's just...
It's like at that point, why would you even touch that? Like, why wouldn't you just make your own show? Like, why
Yeah,
does
that
have to
looks
be
like really cheaply made.
It's like a
Oh, yeah.
Tron.
Well, I think we got a
mixture in
contender
there.
for worst film of the year.
I
Well,
don't
it's a
think
TV
I
series.
know. Yeah.
I think we should all watch it
I can
together.
see
Oh,
see
no.
why this made you
You know this
mad,
is.
Taylor.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, that villain looked very similar.
Oh,
yeah, but
no.
look at this. Like, what is supposed to be going on?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Like
go
the
watch
live
it.
action mixed with that just doesn't fit.
I'm
Like,
gonna have to
even
go
the-
back. I'm gonna have to go on
Only the
YouTube and watch like what the
CGI
original
stuff.
show looked like because my memory
Oh.
of it is
The original
it's been a
show
while
was
since
lit.
I
It was
watched
amazing.
it.
It
I
was
watched it.
It was, if
fantastic.
it was only the CGI stuff, I wouldn't mind.
That
but
evil lady with the face that changes, like, she was
She was
legit
scary. She
scary.
would move her head and then it would flip upside
Yeah.
down. Oh yeah.
Like, it's bad, but it's so good.
It was like that.
Yeah, that guy.
Like,
Yeah,
very
And
early
that's the kid that
CG.
just for some reason becomes huge.
Well, time
Yeah.
jumps and Mad Max. He's
Oh, okay.
putting, he has to save the universe, you know.
The
So-
villains were good though.
They were
Yeah.
very good.
Oh yeah, we'll never get to, but man, reboot retro.
Yeah, so
I
you
love
have
reboot. I love
you know,
reboots.
I
use that
reboots
action
to do
figures of
anything.
it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's how bad the CGI is.
It's legit a Canadian TV show. too.
Yes.
It's a really
Yeah.
specific
Yes.
line that
YTV,
captures
miss
me.
those old
Yeah.
classic
It's
YTVs.
impressive.
Classic YTVs.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
don't know,
Taylor,
I'm watching
where can they find this and that in the GeekVerse land?
This and that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there, once you rebooted your computers, you can
Hey.
tune in into your search bar, that is. You gotta type in on the Googles Facebook to start off, because Facebook is very important. When you get to the Facebook search bar, you're gonna type in GeekVerse Space Podcast. That is space bar, not the word space. You could try you know, typing the word space, but who knows where that goes? I
Who
don't.
types the word space?
You know, I'm sure
When
1
someone
in 7 billion people.
malfunctions over here. Space. Didn't do it for me. Let's search that in Facebook and see it comes up.
What, didn't do it for
Yeah,
me?
keep plugging.
So, you know,
Keep plugging.
when you type into the search bar, you're going to type in GeekVerse Space Podcast, and you're going to go and find our Facebook. It's an awesome logo. It's green. It's fantastic. There's so much awesome stuff on that newsfeed. Let me tell you, we got photos, we got podcasts, we got videos.
Photos.
You know, you can try
The selling.
Like we
point.
have the monopoly on photos. Like they're so rare. No, a fucking 10-year-old with a phone can take a photo.
I
We don't have that many, we don't have an Instagram, so we're really
Yeah.
on the photo game.
No, that's one of our lower tiers.
No,
But Taylor did make a new thumbnail that I thought was really nice today, so
thumbnail.
I'm not sure where that's going.
It was an
for-
idea that Travis
For our
profile
after
picture.
9 show, if it ever
Right.
happens or when we do it. So
Yeah, so the neon
Taylor
kind of
time.
lounge. So
Yeah.
legit. I mean, we even got Stride commercials because, you know,
It's true.
What?
It's 5
Remember?
gum, isn't it?
5 gums.
Oh
Stride
yeah,
gum.
go to our Facebook.
Five
There's
Gums
some
owned
good
by
stuff.
Stride, which is owned by Disney, but
Yeah.
This and that. This and that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Did all the plugs at the beginning. All I ask is please rate, review, spread the word, like this video, comment. That helps us grow this show. We help you. We thank you very much for tuning in for the past few months, the past few years, whatever it is. We always appreciate hearing feedback, and we thank you that, you know what, at the end of the day, some people are watching, some people are listening to it, and that's all we ask for. And we thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
a lot
It
of
was
people
fun.
checked out the Blade Runner. Wow, the Black Panther review. So
Yeah.
really good numbers on that one. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for that. We will see you next week. It's Jessica Jones, and until then, it'll not be boring.
Peace. Pecan.
Later.
Pecan with you.
Nice.